On Get Up, the Nets play 10 of their next 12 on the road starting tonight in Washington. Irving did not return any of Tsai's text messages asking to discuss the situation before he was suspended. Yankees GM Brian Cashman, who's currently working without a contract, won't say whether he's been in contact with Aaron Judge about a new deal. Judge will be a free agent after the World Series. He hit .311 this year with 62 home runs and 131 runs batted in.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. It is LSU-Bama week, and you had better be fired up for it. Tigers and Tide tomorrow. We are basically spending the bulk of the next 3 hours talking about LSU and Alabama. Shea Dixon will be with us in 15 minutes. However, Tigers have picked up a quarterback commit for the class of 2024. Of course, they've got Ricky Collins from Woodlawn, local kid, committed for 2023. And Colin Hurley today announced for the Tigers for 2024. So we'll talk about that with Shea Dixon coming up in about 15 minutes from right now. Phil Steele will be next hour. No Terrio today. Congrats to Georgia Terrio. She's on the homecoming court at Dunham, so Terrio is doing dad stuff as you would fully expect. So Ross Dellinger in hour 3 has a great feature up on Nick Saban from his time in Baton Rouge. Kristen Lockacher will be with us in hour number 3 as well. We'll do picks, what to watch. Got a ton of football stuff. I'm glad you're here with us. I was literally within the last 30 minutes sitting at my desk in my office, and I pulled up ESPN.com, and Alex Scarborough has a great piece. Actually, if you go to just the front page of ESPN.com, you'll see the header there it's a picture of Dan Bournet. From his booth there in Tiger Stadium as the public address announcer. It says, an out-of-this-world experience, the mystique of night games at Tiger Stadium. And I of course, went down that rabbit hole, clicked and started reading. And I really got in my feels a little bit ago, y'all. I am really, really envious of all of you today and tomorrow. A lot of people look at all of us who work here and say, man, you have the best job ever. And in many respects, you're right. We do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am not complaining at all. I get it. I get paid and paid well to talk about sports and teams that I love. And it is an awesome way to make a living. But there is one thing that you sacrifice with this job. And it's not the Twitter trolls or you don't care. Whatever. It comes with it. But there's one thing. You sacrifice a piece of your fandom, because my obligation here every day to my audience, whether you know it or whether you want it or know you want it, is objectivity. And so my job is to do my dead level best every day when I sit here to remove emotion and bias from commentary to give you honest opinions. And I try to do that, and I've tried to do that for a long time. But sometimes you just want to be an emotional, raging fan. And I don't get to do that tomorrow, and all of you do. And for that, I'm extremely envious, because tomorrow is going to be a day like in this story that Alex Scarborough wrote about Dan Bornay, that Dan Bornay tells about being a young boy in the 1950s living in Thibodaux and his aunt taking him to Tiger Stadium for the first time, and the mystique of the place. I want to be very clear, y'all, and I've said this so many times now. Tiger Stadium isn't what it was all the time. No place is anymore. It's how societally and culturally we have evolved. The home viewing experience is so good. Stadiums expanded, and now they're oversized and overpriced for what people are willing to give because they can watch and have a better experience at home. When LSU played Southern, that wasn't a great environment. When LSU played New Mexico, that wasn't a great environment. When LSU played Mississippi State, that's not a game 100 years from now anybody's going to remember. But when LSU played Alabama in 2012, the result isn't what we wanted. One of the most epic nights in Tiger Stadium. When LSU beat Georgia in 2003, when LSU beat Auburn in 2001 to punch their first ever ticket to the SEC championship game, people will tell you about beating Florida in 97 or Auburn in 88 on the earthquake game. Got still fans that talk about losing to USC in 1979, the night the clock stopped, Billy Cannon's run. You know the history. But you have to have the backdrop for the opportunity to create that lifelong memory. And tomorrow, the stage is set for the possibility. And it doesn't always work out. The stage was set in 2016. And LSU lost 10-0. We got our hopes up in 2018. And LSU lost 29-0 that day. So it doesn't always work out that way. But the possibility of it is what builds the anticipation around the day, which is why this town today has been on fire. And it has been so much fun to see. Driving through campus earlier, you could tell there's an event going on. It's massive what's going to happen tomorrow in Baton Rouge. And those are the things, those are the types of days upon which LSU and Tiger Stadium and night games in Death Valley have built their reputation. And tomorrow is going to be another one. And I am really, really jealous of all of you that get to go. Go and be a fan and yell and cheer for your team. I've had a lot of people this week say LSU's got a puncher's chance in the game, and I disagree with that completely. I completely disagree with that. Because as someone who likes combat sports, when you hear someone say he's got a puncher's chance, essentially what you're saying is your opponent is better than you in every facet, but you have one trick. Like you have one skill. Maybe it's like you have a heavy right hand. And boy, if you land that heavy right, all the other skill doesn't matter. LSU has more than one trick. Alabama has struggled on the road the last 2 years. We've talked about it. Alabama is 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 road games. They could have lost to Texas. They did lose at Tennessee. Arkansas gave them all they wanted for 3 quarters. Last year, they lost to Zach Calzada. And that was a much better Alabama team a year ago than they are today. Auburn should have beat them if Tank Bigsby stays in bounds. Florida missed a PAT, so they had to go for 2 at the end. Listen, the common underlying theme with all of these, they were all really close. Nobody blows Alabama out. And LSU's not going to blow Alabama out tomorrow. That's not how it goes against that team. He's the greatest coach ever for a reason. Even when they don't play their best, they're still so much better than everybody that they're always in it to win it. And they always have a chance to win it. But LSU's receivers are awesome. And Alabama's secondary has taken a step back. And LSU's secondary isn't very good, but Alabama's receivers aren't what they've been. And I don't know that they're able to take advantage. Bryce Young is the best player in college football. Hendon Hooker's having the best season. Don't misunderstand me. Hendon Hooker's having the best season, but Bryce Young is the best player in college football. But LSU's defensive front seven looks like an LSU defensive front seven, and they are athletic enough to contain, not stop, contain, limit Bryce Young and Jahmyr Gibbs. Jaden Daniels is playing like a guy that gives Alabama defenses trouble and has over the years. Athletic, mobile quarterbacks that play with tempo and pace and in spread concepts have given Nick Saban's defenses problems over the years. That's Jaden Daniels. That's certainly been him the last 2 weeks. I don't know if LSU is going to win the game. I'll give you a pick at the end of the game. Many of you already heard my pick. I've given it in a lot of different places already because my head is what I have to use to give you a pick. But my heart? Oh, man. My head tells you definitively LSU is way better than a puncher's chance. And one thing I know for certain is that the venue tomorrow at Full Throat is going to have an impact in that game. And for all you who get to be in that number, that's awesome. And I am super jealous of you. So make it count because you might be making a memory tomorrow that you'll remember forever. Maybe one day, 50 years from now, they'll be writing about it at ESPN.com. We're going to talk a lot about this game throughout the day today. Let me break. Shea Dixon's next. I will get Shea's thoughts on LSU-Bama, but Tigers picked up a quarterback commit today, so we'll get into that. Phil Steele next hour to preview the biggest games in college football. We got so much to do, and so glad you were here on a awesome, jam-packed, feel-good Football Friday of AFR. We are presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Of course, T-Bob and I will be live at Don Juan Cigar Bar tomorrow. As soon as the game goes final, as soon as the clock hits 0, we'll be at Don Juan ready to talk about it. So hopefully you'll join us. If you can't be at Don Juan with us, hopefully you'll join us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge Facebook page. All right, it's after further review. Stick around.
AFR.
All right, you all know what it is, y'all. It is Hate Bama Week. And maybe even more importantly than that, at Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys, they are Louisiana-born, Louisiana-bred, and love our home state. And we're talking about Sweet Home, Louisiana. And that's one of the main reasons why Gordon McKernan did so many NIL deals with Tiger players that are Louisiana-born. Guys like Kyron Lacey, guys like Emory Jones, guys like Kayshon Boutte. You know the number, the list, the name. It is Hate Bama Week, but more importantly, it's Love Louisiana Week. And Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys love this home state, love supporting local entities, love supporting our local players, the purple and gold with the Tigers. It's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Look, you know the drill. If you've been hurt in an accident, get Gordon, get it done. GetGordon.com, call 888-8888. But most importantly, this week, it's all about beating Bama and loving Louisiana. So get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today. Or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
He's out. I just made a decision. He is better, but I'm not going to put him in the position that I think he's at right now.
That is Brian Kelly talking about Garrett Dellinger out. So that means Miles Frazier will start again at left guard. Again, Frazier has started the last 2 games at left guard, started the season opener against Florida State at left guard. There's no doubt Garrett Dellinger is one of your best 5 linemen. I don't think anybody's going to argue. He's one of your best 5. But your offense has been humming the last 2 weeks without him. I think Miles Frazier has really been a very pleasant surprise the way he stepped up the last 2 weeks in that spot. When Turner went in at center and Dellinger went to left guard, Frazier was kind of the odd man out. But credit to him for staying ready, got his chance, and he's been really good. It makes you feel much better about Garrett Dellinger not being available because of the job Miles Frazier's done. All right, we're going to get to Shea in just a second. Let me remind you about Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name-brand tires at wholesale prices. If you need tires, get tires where you're going to get them the cheapest. Cheaper than the box stores, the membership clubs, the other tire stores. It's Shawbill's. And, of course, bumper-to-bumper auto service. If you need anything from an oil change to tires rotated to the check engine light coming on, your standard maintenance, brakes squeaking, just think Shawbill's. 17 locations across South Louisiana. They treat you like family. ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbill's, where we keep you rolling. All right, Jay Dixon joins us from On3 Sports. Tigers get a pretty significant commitment here. Colin Hurley, a quarterback for the class of 2024, has picked the Tigers. Shea joins us now. Shea, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me, Matt.
So it's our pleasure. Let me just start with this, a reaction. Was this in any way a surprise, the news of Colin Hurley's commitment?
Behind closed doors, it wasn't a surprise. Obviously, he wanted the public to be a bit surprised by it, but this is something he and his camp had been working on in terms of a reclassification from 25 into 24 for a little bit now, and he's been high on LSU. Look, he's been to campus 5 or 6 times since the new regime got into town, so it was very clear he was serious about LSU. He had camped at LSU this summer, went and camped at a bunch of schools, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia. I mean, everybody had offered him, so this was pretty big that LSU was able to get it to the finish line and quickly kind of work to both get him committed and announce the news that he was reclassifying.
All right, so Shea, let's take this a little bit step by step here, because Julian Sayin is a guy that LSU was in on, and he committed to Bama earlier this week. So was this a product of LSU not getting that commitment and being okay taking Hurley's?
I don't think they were connected. I think LSU was in a spot where if Julian Sayin wanted to come, they were about to either have 2 commitments or have to make some tough decisions. So this one kind of worked out, I guess, in a way to where no matter what, LSU came out with at least 1 quarterback commitment. I think they felt good about him. So, yeah, the timing, I guess, is more than it's not coincidental in the sense that this was something that was kind of already brewing behind the scenes, and him going public with it this week was kind of always a possibility. I'll say that.
Okay. We'll talk about Hurley specifically in just a quick second, but can you walk us through the reclassification and explain, because I've had a lot of people like message me on social media today, say like, what does that all mean? So if you could just maybe explain it and walk us through the process of how this came to be.
Yes, so it really just depends on how much you can load up on school. He's a kid who's got a 4.0 GPA right now, so I think he's just going to continue to add courses. And much like kids enroll early, right, where you missed your spring semester of high school and you go ahead and enroll in college, we've seen, not like Desmond Ricks did it already this season, where you just reclassify a year. And with Hurley only being a sophomore, you're that far out to where you can plan to say, hey, look, I can add these classes in this order. And, look, you have to go through compliance and all these different things to make sure that, hey, look, what all do y'all require? If we took it in this year and next year, would it be good to go? And the answer was yes. So at the most fundamental level, what it is I don't know what you could call it, skipping a grade. You could call it, I don't know what it's easiest for people to think about it in their minds of him doing, but he's gone now from a sophomore on the field to part of the junior crop of guys that are out on the field.
So he won't sign in 2023. He's a class of 2024 guy. So basically, he did what Quinn Ewers did. So when he's playing his freshman year at LSU, that should be his senior year in high school. Shay, is there any concern just physically about a guy being ready a year early?
I mean, there obviously could be some concern about that, but I don't think that's the case with Hurley, a kid who's already 215 as a sophomore, and if you see pictures of him, you can see he spends a lot of time in the gym and good compact build. I think that there's probably no worry on that end. That he still has another almost a year of this, kind of a year and a half, I will say, more before he would actually be done with high school and enrolling into college. I don't know if he'd be an early enrollee or not. So we could be 2 more years of high school development before he's on a college campus, but. He's also, it's not like this often happens where kids reclassify back into the grade like they actually should be in, right? Like they got, at some point, were held back for whatever reason, and then they jump back into the grade they should be in. He's in the grade he should be in. He's actually a young kid. He's 15 still, a sophomore with a spring birthday. So he's legitimately skipping a grade here, and I think all sides kind of feel good about, that being a possibility, something that will work out for them.
Shay Dixon is with us from On3 Sports. Shay, let's talk a little bit about Colin Hurley, the player. I mean, what does the scouting report sort of look like on him?
Big arm, or I should say a powerful one. I mean, he can make all the throws. There were multiple people that were at LSU summer camp that saw Hurley throw, and probably about 5 to 10 of the other top quarterbacks among the next couple of classes of the underclassmen. And felt like he had the strongest arm of the group. So he definitely got a big arm. He plays at Trinity Christian Academy, which would have been Kevin Tolliver's school in Florida. So they traditionally have pretty good football. They're undefeated right now. They're back-to-back state champions. He was obviously the quarterback last year as a 9th grader. So this is his 2nd year now playing high school, and they're undefeated again. So could be looking at back-to-back state titles there. But I would say he's a pocket passer. This isn't a guy who's just scrambling around and running downfield or labeled as a dual threat. I mean, this is a guy who's going to sit in the pocket and try to make all the throws from there. And I think development-wise, he's already kind of put a ton of time into working not only just with the staff there at Trinity, but with trainers and quarterback developers. And he's about as active as it gets on the 7-on-7 scene and traveling around with those Florida teams. So he's kind of put himself both on Friday nights and in other settings, camp settings, combine settings, in the mix with a lot of older guys, and has often kind of matched what they were able to do. So it's so early for rankings, Matt. I mean, these kids are sophomores in high school. I guess technically now he's a junior that he reclassified, but Walker Howard didn't even start a game until his junior year. So I think in terms of just quarterback thoughts of, hey, where does this kid stack up versus the rest? I think you just kind of take a look at that about a year from now and say, all right, here's the whole crop. They're all about 6 months away from college. And then you get a really feel for, hey, look, is this a top 3 quarterback, top 5? Kind of where does he rank? But there is no doubt that with that offer list, a lot of schools would have been ready to take him. This was a big win for LSU.
Shay, can you elaborate a little bit there? Because obviously one of the big questions with the new staff was how would they recruit? So I think they're emphatically answering that right now with 2023 and getting a good head start on 2024. But specifically with Hurley, who handled the recruitment and what, if anything, did we learn about this staff's recruitment with Colin Hurley?
I think you make sort of an emphatic statement whenever you land a quarterback, right? I mean, that's like big news. It's arguably the most important position on the field. So then you see that and say, oh, look, I've seen a lot of reactions today. Oh, they said Brian Kelly couldn't recruit. They say the staff couldn't attract big-name players. They squashed that, as you kind of noted already. Their 2023 class is top 4 in the country right now. And with Ohio State and, the Bamas and Georgia of the world, the teams that have been on very level footing without any coaching changes. So the fact that they've already put themselves in that mix and are doing it by going around the country and getting guys that are being recruited by all these other schools has been really, really impressive. Now with Hurley, Joe Sloan as a quarterback's coach obviously puts in a lot of work here. Denbrock met with him a bunch when he was on campus, the offensive coordinator. Brian Kelly, they talked about playing a really big role in terms of sitting down with Colin early and kind of talking over how he would fit in and why they want to prioritize him. And then you've got guys, guys and women, men and women that are working in the personnel department that obviously chip in. We hear J.R. Belton's name all the time, Jordan Arsenault. So I would say this staff does a very good job, like most, of making it a complete staff effort to where it's not just one coach who's doing all the heavy lifting, but one coach is the point man, and then everybody else kind of helps out when they can.
He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon on 3 Sports. LSU lands Colin Hurley, a quarterback who's going to reclassify for the class of 2024. Shea, what is this when we look ahead to 2024? I mean, they're obviously still pushing for 23. Should we expect this type of pace for the 2024 class already? I mean, is that how many commitments? I'm looking at it right now, but they've already got a good head start on 2024.
This might be 6 commits or 7.
I'm refreshing.
Something in that range.
I'm refreshing right now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Okay, 6 commits. So that's a nice start. You look around the country, and some schools who do get out to a quick head start will have about 5, 6. Some have more, but obviously you want to balance just some diligence of waiting to see how all these guys look with a little bit of aggressiveness in the sense of, hey, look, if you see a guy that you like, much like a Colin Hurley, much like all the other guys that got committed, and you've made the offer, you're pressing, and you like to get them committed. So I won't be surprised if that's the last 2024 commitment they get even this week. I bet they pop at least one person this weekend, and I just think it's just such a big game. They've offered new guys. They're coming in around the state. More guys are coming in for visits. So I don't think that they're about to run off 20 kids that are juniors in high school now, but I think that by the time the season ends, I won't be surprised if they're into double digits, which is about a normal pace. That's about kind of where you want to be.
Shay, can you give us a sense of what game day is like for LSU-Bama from a recruiting perspective?
Whew, man, this is big. I mean, you've got really everybody, almost a lot of the who's who. Well, you got all your commits coming in, but or I should say a majority of the commits are coming in. But when you look at the board the rest of the way, Matt, I think fans have polled them. I'd say, who would you love to land? People say, Desmond Ricks or Javian Tobiano, some big-time corner or defensive back that, you could come in and maybe rely on playing right away. Both those guys are uncommitted. Both of them will be here this weekend. And you kind of go up and down the wish list of where can you close. Another kid, I'll tell you, he doesn't have an offer yet. Won't be surprised if he has one this weekend. Out of Santa Mon is Dylan Carpenter, a defensive lineman who's committed to Louisiana Lafayette, but it's sort of put on a huge senior year where won't be shocked if LSU makes an in-state offer there and gets him. So I think it's, from the guys like, Ricks and them and Tobiano to guys who are emerging as seniors and could come into play in this 2023 class like Carpenter, everyone's there this weekend. And they only have one official visitor, Ryan Yates, who's already committed out of Texas. So it's not like they're having to host, 10 guys and their families all weekend long while balancing the Bama game. Keep it to a small list. You got one family coming in. He's already committed. And then that really just puts kind of Saturday as the big day where everybody gets into town, everybody gets and hangs out on the field before the game and afterwards. And then you have a lot of them on Sunday kind of come back up to the football ops building and meet with the staff and kind of get a little bit more downtime that maybe you wouldn't have gotten when the staff is kind of in obviously full-on preparation mode for Bama the day of the game.
He is Shea Dixon. He's on Twitter at Shea Dixon, on 3 Sports, of course, the Bengal Tiger. Shea, we appreciate it, man. Have a great weekend.
You don't yell at me like we do on TV, Matt. I've noticed that on the radio. You're very calm with me.
I didn't yell at you. It's all about the topics. Listen, man, that's just crossfire. You just happen to be standing next to me when Cobble tees me up on something, all right? That has nothing to do with you. That's just proximity. That's like the laptop in front of me right now. I'm not yelling at it. It's just the thing in front of me whenever I start ranting.
That's the Moscona I love, and that's all I wanted before I got off the phone. Just a little bit of life.
All right. Thank you, Shea.
Bye, guys.
All right. We'll see you. Shea Dixon, Michael Cobble, and I all co-host the Sports Takeover Tuesday nights, 6:30 on WBRZ+. So check it out if you're looking for even more LSU content in your week. We recorded on Tuesday late morning, and then it airs Tuesday night at 6:30. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. Man, we had a great week. Been telling you, HUDCO this week. HUDCO is the only Louisiana-based certified fortified roofing company. We are the only roofing company that is based in Louisiana that is certified to install fortified roofs. If you want to learn more about that, go to HUDCORoofing.com. On the homepage, you'll see the green fortified roof logo. Just tap that icon. You can learn more. If you install a fortified roof on your home, you can save more than 50% on your homeowner's insurance. Learn more about it. If you have questions, we'd love to answer them. You can always go to HUDCORoofing.com, HUDCORoofing.com, or call 364-1007, 364-1007, 364-1007. You can call right now. Commercial, residential, roof repairs, roof replacements. Louisiana-born, Louisiana-based, Louisiana people. We use Louisiana products. Certainty Shingles, manufactured in Shreveport, Louisiana. We are Louisiana to our core. It's HUDCO Roofing and HUDCORoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCORoofing.com. All right, we'll go around the SEC. We'll have our tailgate segment in about 15 minutes. Phil Steele in 45 minutes from right now, previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend. We are locked, loaded, a ton to do, and glad you're here on a Football Friday of AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% with 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, We've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
So one of the stories as we creep closer to LSU and Alabama is the weather. Brian Kelly was, this is number 3, Yusuf, if you could, from his press conference yesterday, talked about how they're preparing for the possibility of bad weather.
We've got wet ball drills and, all those things, and, have practiced any of those kinds of situations and scenarios. So the biggest thing is obviously a wet ball in terms of trying to throw the football. So I think we've done that now 3 days in a couple of periods, and feel comfortable with whatever the weather conditions are.
That's really good to know. And as we look closer to kickoff, our news partners at WBRZ in Baton Rouge, Dr. Josh Eaches has given this recent weather update as of tonight. This was as of coming into Friday. What we're looking forward to as we creep closer, to kickoff.
Moving into Saturday morning, a front approaching our area from the west. Now, it's not going to make a whole lot more progress past the Louisiana-Texas state line, but we do bring a batch of rain and thunderstorms into the area around sunrise. Could be some gusty wind here and some brief downpours. Overall, not a wide-scale severe weather threat to our area, but attention-getting line of rain and thunderstorms. And as the front slows down, some light to moderate rain could be lingering through the mid to late morning hours. Not the best news for the early tailgaters, but the old adage, it never rains in Tiger Stadium, might hold up into Saturday evening. I would take a poncho in for a stray rogue shower out there, but certainly anything organized is over with by game time, and we'll clear it out a little bit overnight into Sunday morning. So here's the hourly.
So that is fantastic news. It looks like, you're probably going to be okay, looking at about 70-ish degrees around kickoff. And the possibility of rain diminishing, maybe a little, as you heard him say, a rogue shower, but by and large, probably pretty good. Now, Brian Kelly mentioned to the media they practice with wet balls, etc. He did also on his coach's show. He was asked on his coach's show about the plan that they've made for the possibility of rain this week.
Coach, what have you done to prepare our Tigers to play in possible weather on Saturday?
Umbrellas. We have umbrellas for all of our. No, that's not going to work, is it? No, they look silly with umbrellas.
The Brian Kelly radio show crowd appreciates his humor. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC. You got to respect it. He tries. He really tries.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Kentucky Wildcats, the Missouri Tigers.
All right, Kentucky's at 5-3. Missouri at 4-4. Missouri trying to creep toward bowl eligibility in that ball game. Missouri's coming off their win over South Carolina after Carolina face planted. And then Tennessee, of course, blew out Kentucky last week, so a bounce-back opportunity potential. Mark Stoops said his team is ready this week and are pretty fired up to go. We'll see how they bounce back on the road in Como.
The Florida Gators, the Texas A&M Aggies.
One of the more fascinating games of the weekend. Two teams who have fallen woefully short of expectations. Texas A&M probably the better team. Florida maybe a little more energized at this point in the season. For me, the most fascinating thing in this game is what are we going to see from the freshman quarterback, Wigman, at Texas A&M. That could be not only the cincher for the remainder of the season, but the future of Jimbo, the foreseeable future at Texas A&M.
The Tennessee Volunteers, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Of course, both teams, coming off of big wins. Georgia beat Florida last week at the cocktail party. Tennessee destroyed Kentucky, and it's the game of the week. College Game Day's there, number 1 versus number 3. The immovable force, the indestructible object. You've got Tennessee, which is first in the country in scoring offense. And you've got Georgia, which is second in the country in scoring defense at 10.5 points per game. Tennessee scored on everybody. Can they score on that Georgia defense in Sanford Stadium? It should be great theater.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Don't sleep on this game. Arkansas hosting Hugh Freeze and Liberty, which even without Malik Willis are 7-1 and playing very good football. Could Arkansas be peeking ahead to LSU? Remember, they struggled against Missouri State earlier this season with Bobby Petrino coming in. Do not sleep on that game at 3 o'clock in the afternoon up in Fayetteville.
The Auburn Tigers, the Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Only interesting thing here is can Cadillac Williams get the interim bump with Auburn as they go on the road to take on Mississippi State. Bulldogs are 5-3. They can get reach bowl eligibility. Auburn with a chance to try to salvage something out of this season now that Brian Harsin is done.
The South Carolina Gamecocks, the Vanderbilt Commodores.
With a win, South Carolina's bowl eligible. With a win, Vanderbilt would snap a 2-year SEC losing streak. It's at 6:30, so no one is going to be watching this game, but at least for those fan bases, there's some degree of intrigue with this result. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. The official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, the ULL Raging Cajuns. Trey Beal and the gang have been great supporters of all of our local teams for decades, celebrating 20 years as an official partner of LSU Athletics. Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com. All right, y'all. Let's see. 30 minutes from right now, Phil Steele. So normally Phil's with us in hour 1. We had a bump Phil to hour 2. Shay was available in hour 1, so Phil was good enough to be flexible with us. So Phil Steele coming up in 30 minutes from right now. Ross Dellinger to kick off hour 3. When we come back, our tailgate segment. What in the world are we cooking up over at Chris's Specialty Foods? Let's find out next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Man, I love telling you about River City's 1 hour air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. I get it, y'all. I get it. A lot of us don't start thinking about the heater in our home until it's cold and we have to turn it on. Don't wait. Don't wait. Do it now. It's November the 4th. You know the cold weather is coming. It's inevitable. It happens every single year. So do it now. Call River City's 1 hour air for that preseason heater safety check. I'm telling you, this preventative maintenance for your unit will extend the life of your unit, but it'll also make sure that your unit runs efficiently during the cold weather months, which will save you money on your heating bills. And then also, most importantly, you make sure that it's safe. You don't want to have something faulty go on that could be a hazard. Get it checked. Mention the Moscona special. They'll save you $30. Call right now. Call to schedule. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1, Football Friday edition of AFR. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Always good to talk a little tailgating, what's going to be on the grill, the pit, the smoker, whatever it may be. Our guy, Coben Linedecker from Chris's Jumpson Studio with us now. How are you, dude?
All good, man. Happy to be here.
Hey, man. LSU-Bama, it's bigger for everybody. What's the week like for you all at Chris's?
Yeah, we've had our LSU fans coming in all week, excited, ready to get some food. Everybody's been coming in, asking, what should I get for the tailgate? What should I do for the game? So it's been a fun week around work. Everybody's getting ready for the game, so it's been
But do y'all see a bump on a week like this?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Okay.
We can tell. Big game in town. More people want to cook. More people are having parties and stuff. So yeah, it's been a good week.
I mean, you hear that a lot of times from restaurants. You hear it from hotels. Obviously, when it's a big game like this, I was curious as well. But the rain tomorrow. It's supposed to be early in the morning, maybe late throughout the morning. If that affects people, like, how might they plan their food if the rain does prevent them in the morning from maybe starting?
Yeah, the good thing about us is that most of our stuff is already prepared, and it doesn't take very long. So if you do get a late start because of the weather, most of our stuff is already cooked. If not cooked, it doesn't take very long. So it'd be great if you miss the weather. So.
All right, Chris's Specialty Foods. There's 2 locations in Baton Rouge. We got Lakeview in New Orleans and in Frisco, Texas. What'd you bring, man?
So this morning, I hadn't really done barbecue style food, so I wanted to do that. So I smoked some ribs for 6 hours, And then I did some seasoned and injected chicken and smoked that also.
So how long did you smoke the chicken?
That I did about 3 hours.
So if you're going to smoke ribs for 6 hours, there's obviously no way to fast track 6 hours. They got to be a smoker for 6 hours. But what about prep?
Yeah, these we already have them seasoned and ready to go. So all I had to do was throw them on there, and then after 3 hours, I like to wrap them in tinfoil with some barbecue sauce and let them marinate in there. But prep
so
time
what does
is
that
very
do?
easy. Wrapping the tinfoil, I add some apple juice and barbecue sauce. The apple juice has acid in it, so it breaks down the meat and makes it way more tender.
Oh, nice.
And then the barbecue can marinate in there. So that's what I like to do.
Man, you can keep that Dreamland nonsense in Tuscaloosa. Give me smoked ribs. Have been smoked for 6 hours over at Chris's. And then what did you inject the chicken with?
We do a homemade Cajun butter sauce. So we inject all of our chickens with that.
Is that boneless?
Yes. Yeah, except the wings.
Okay, I see the wings over there. And is the injector available as well? Like, do you all sell that? Say people want to inject themselves?
We have it by the jar. We have a Cajun butter sauce. So yeah, if you want to buy that, we have it in stores.
Chris's Specialty Foods. You can always go to the website at chrisspecialtyfoods.com. So like I always say you go back to back S's. chrisspecialtyfoods.com. And we've been telling people as well that Thanksgiving's coming up, and you all can handle the entire Thanksgiving meal.
Oh yeah. We have anything from turkeys, smoked or fried, whole turduckens, turkey, just the turkey breast, turkey rolls if you don't have such a big family, and then all of your sides and turkey gravies and anything you might need.
It's pretty cool too. Like I'm looking at the website, you have the if you go to the homepage of the website, there is the Thanksgiving tab. So you hit the Thanksgiving tab, and it's there. You can shop. You can not only do the turkey or the turducken as you mentioned, but all the sides as well. Like it's grab and go.
Yep.
Like you're done. You don't have to work.
No more grocery stores. It's ready to go.
You're ready to roll. So Chris's Specialty Foods, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. If you want to get by, check it out. You going to the game tomorrow?
Yes, I am.
You going to be cooking for the game tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to be tailgating. I'll be out there around 12. We're doing some sausages and boudins out there. So,
like, is there more pressure for you? Like, people know that you work at Chris's. They obviously know, like, this is what you do. Like, do you have more pressure at the tailgate?
Absolutely.
Like, to deliver?
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody, when it's time to bring food or anything about food, they look towards me and to do the cooking. So I like it though.
So what you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm just gonna do some sausage and boudin, and then I'm gonna bring actually a turkey breast out there and smoke it out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
You worried about the rain?
Nah, I got some white shrimp boots. I'll be good.
You know why? You know why that they have white shrimp boots?
Why?
To keep your feet dry.
Exactly.
It's a Brian Kelly joke. Muse, I'm trying. I'm channeling my inner Brian Kelly. Was it good?
You weren't nearly the menace that he is.
The menace?
He's a menace.
Brian Kelly's a menace?
Brian Kelly's a menace.
Why would you say that?
Because the man, he just is. Like, I don't know how to explain it. He just is.
Why
Like,
would you call Brian Kelly a menace on the eve of the LSU-Alabama game?
it's a compliment, Matt. That's a compliment.
If someone called you a menace, would you consider that a compliment?
Probably not.
Paulie, no, in that sense.
Paulie, if someone considered you a menace, would you consider that a compliment?
I would not.
Yeah, Muse, you'll lose again. Like, choose your words more carefully, friend. A menace.
He is, bro.
Here's the poll question of the day. Is menace an endearing term? Or would you consider menace would you consider, if someone called you a menace, would you consider it a compliment? Yes or no?
That's the way to word it. That's what we're going to do.
Like, do I need to look up the definition of menace?
I know the definition of menace. I'm just saying you can use it like whenever
a person or thing that is likely to cause harm, a threat or danger. Who would take that as a compliment?
Well, for instance, Matt, if you were going to say Kayshon Boutte is going to be a menace to the Alabama defense, that's a compliment towards the best receiver on the team.
That's not what you said.
No,
you said Brian Kelly is a menace.
You asked me how could it be a compliment.
You said Brian Kelly. You said the man is a menace.
With
I
his
said I'm
jokes,
channeling my
he
inner
is.
Brian Kelly. You said the man's a menace.
With his jokes, he is.
He's creating harm and danger? Threat?
In a way.
No, not at all. You lose again, Muse. You're outnumbered here big time. Isn't he?
Yes, he is.
See? Got it. Coben said it. I mean, he's the nicest guy ever. Paul, you got two nicest guys ever. You got Coben and Paulie here, two nicest guys ever who are telling you that you're wrong. All right, what do you think is going to happen in the game tomorrow?
LSU's offense is clicking right now,
All right.
so I'm going to go 38-14 for LSU, and I think number 10 for Alabama is a really good player, Gibbs. I think
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go. It's going to be 35-35 late, and we're going to kick a field goal to win it.
38-35.
Yeah.
I'll take it, man. However it may go. All right, thank you for coming in. Coben, Chris's Specialty Foods, chrisspecialtyfoods.com. Y'all check it out, all 4 locations. Hour number 2 after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com, changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, GMFS Mortgage, and gmfsmortgage.com. Great time maybe to look at a cash-out refinance. If you want to renovate, remodel your home, maybe do some updates. If it's that new bathroom or the new kitchen, you could use the equity in your home and do a cash-out refi. Take that equity out of your home, turn it into cash, and then use that to renovate your home. There's so many different loan products that are there. GMFS Mortgage, they always say, we want to be your lender for life. So if you're buying that first home, your family's expanding, you need a bigger home. If you're selling and downsizing, they can help you there. You want to refinance, do a cash-out refi. If you're building your home of your dreams, GMFS Mortgage can help. Get in touch with a local loan officer near you, no matter where you are in the state of Louisiana. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives since 1999.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
Enter now for a chance to win a catch and cook fishing experience from the Louisiana Charter Boat Association with me, Chef Jay Ducote, winner of Beat Bobby Flay. Register now at gocatch.com. That's GEAUX catch.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Nets GM Sean Marks says Kyrie Irving will need to take more steps before he comes back to the team, including counseling and meeting with Jewish leaders. ESPN's Brian Windhorst.
They are trying like crazy to hold this dam from bursting. Kevin Durant demanding trades. Kyrie Irving, all these situations. Ben Simmons is hurt. Steve Nash is fired, and they're going and trying to pull a coach who's on suspension with another team.
Brian Windhorst on Greeny. Irving apologized on Instagram for promoting anti-Semitic content in social media. He's been suspended for at least 5 games without pay. We've got an NBA doubleheader tonight on ESPN starting at 7:30 Eastern with the Celtics hosting the Bulls, followed by the Timberwolves hosting the 7-0 Bucks. Jets wideout Corey Davis out for Sunday against the Bills. He'll miss his 2nd game in a row with a knee injury. The NHL's Ottawa Senators are now for sale. Team owner Eugene Melnick died in March after battling an illness. One condition of any sale is that the team must remain in Ottawa.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Paul, and I got the hiccups. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
How's this going to work? Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Phil Steele, in about 15 minutes, we'll preview the biggest games in college football with Phil Steele. Ross Dellinger, next hour. This is so crazy. I walked, all of a sudden, when I started the show today, I got like a frog in my throat, and now I get the hiccups. I have no idea what's going on. It's a very bizarre thing. So if I hiccup or my voice keeps cracking, I apologize. Tomorrow, of course, T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan Cigar Bar as soon as the clock hits 0. We'll be there for whiskey and wine. I want to also remind you, Don Juan is participating in next week's Louisiana Bourbon Festival. They really caught a break because Bourbon Festival is going to be at the Renaissance Hotel. It's going to be a phenomenal event. And the tasting part next Saturday is from 7 to 10 p.m. So, boy, they caught a huge break with LSU Arkansas being at 11 a.m. So you can watch LSU Arkansas, and then the Louisiana Bourbon Festival is that night. Don Juan will be there. So if you want to have whiskey and cigar pairings, you can do so next Saturday at Louisiana Bourbon Festival. You can go to LouisianaBourbonFest.com for tickets, LouisianaBourbonFest.com for tickets, and all the proceeds benefit the Alzheimer's Association, Alzheimer's Services of Baton Rouge. So really a great event. Go see. I think they got like 35 different distilleries that you'll be able to sample whiskey from, like 35 distilleries. So anyway, that's next Saturday, 7 to 10 p.m. at the Renaissance Hotel, and our friends at Don Juan Cigar Bar will be there as well. All right, it's after further review. We're going to get into our what to watch coming up here in a minute, and then Phil Steele. If you're wondering where's Terrio, congrats to Georgia Terrio. She's on the homecoming court for the Dunham School, so Ryan's doing obviously homecoming stuff with Georgia, so that's awesome. Congrats to Georgie. We're excited for her. Hope they have a great night. So we got a ton of football stuff we're going to get to here over the next couple hours. Before we get to what to watch, I think one of the big storylines is going to be the edge rushers pressuring both quarterbacks. Guys like Harold Perkins and B.J. Ojolari pressuring Bryce Young. On the flip side, I mean, everybody knows about Will Anderson. How do the freshman tackles hold up? Brian Kelly was asked both. First, how they use Harold Perkins to defend Bryce Young.
I don't know that you can prepare anybody for a quarterback like Bryce Young. I think what Harold brings is, obviously an athleticism that can close on him and force the ball out of his hands. You know, the one thing that I think you got to be careful with is, you know, you're trying to make a big play on him and he makes you look silly. We need to get the ball out of his hand. And so Harold's an extremely gifted athlete, close space, get in a good football position and get the ball out of his hand.
Harold Perkins has been awesome. I mean, fans have known this. The charge for Brian Kelly and his staff has been, how do you find a way to get Harold Perkins on the field with B.J. Ojulari? That's been the challenge, hasn't it? Like, Brian Kelly even acknowledged it earlier in the year where he's like, you know, the issue you have is a really good player loses reps whenever we put him on the field. Well, he was talking about B.J. Ojulari. So, I mean, he has said it openly. Brian Kelly has said it. They've had to find a way to make their defensive front seven work with Perkins and Ojulari on the field at the same time. And most of the time that means B.J. Penn comes off the field because you are B.J. Penn. Greg Penn, not B.J. Penn. B.J. Penn would be a hell of an asset in a street fight or a bar fight. Probably not in a football game. But Greg Penn comes off the field, and so you've been seeing more Perkins and Ojulari on the field at the same time. Now, on the flip side, you've got two freak show defensive ends from Alabama, including Will Anderson, who had Heisman hype before the season started, and you got two LSU freshman tackles.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be a challenge, and it's not, and I think I mentioned this the other day, is you just can't fan to one side. I mean, both ends are outstanding players. So, yeah, we're going to have to chip. We're going to have to take the tight end and use him before he gets out. Slow release the tight end. We're going to have to chip with the back. I think our guys have done a pretty good job. The one thing about the SEC, what I've learned since I've been down here, is that you're getting really good pass rushers each week, and you have to account for that. So within our system and what we've done in the passing game, we've had to go through this. This isn't the first time, and we'll have to employ that again. The
numbers for Will Anderson this year haven't been what many would have anticipated, considering the way, especially how he finished last year. Just 16 tackles this year. 16 tackles. He does have 6 sacks. He's got an interception as well. But he's a phenomenal player, but teams have found ways to avoid him. But that does limit the field. So how LSU attacks will certainly be interesting to watch. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com. Tomorrow you got a 6 o'clock kick. So you have all day if you want to go test drive. I know it's supposed to be rainy, but, man, that might actually be great. Drive a Volkswagen in the rain and see all those great safety features when you're driving in inclement weather. Airline just north of Highland, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. I'm a proud Volkswagen owner. Erica drives a Volkswagen. My mom, my dad drive Volkswagens. My cousin Steven bought a Volkswagen. His parents, my aunt and uncle, bought a Volkswagen. We're becoming a complete Volkswagen family. And when you test drive one, you'll understand it as well. SouthPointVW.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right, Phil Steele coming up here in just a few right now. What are we watching this weekend in football?
Here's what we're watching this football weekend.
All right, Muse, fire away.
All right, Matt kind of touched on it a little bit last hour, but A&M, Florida. A&M and Florida, 11 a.m. from Kyle Field. Weigman, freshman quarterback for A&M. His era now begins. A&M's got a pretty good front. What can Anthony Richardson do against that, running the ball? And I mean, we know Florida's secondary and whatnot's not very good. So the A&M offense, just two teams going in the wrong direction.
Who do you like?
I like A&M because of that. I think Weigman can take advantage of a bad secondary for Florida.
What was that crumpling up paper? Was that static?
It's
what was
like
it?
a static.
Static.
Yeah.
Got it. All right, Paulie.
All right, so I think we're all going to be watching Tennessee, Georgia. But I'm going to be specifically looking at Hendon Hooker. Can he lock up the Heisman Trophy? He's currently the betting favorite. I think still plus 100, something like that. Just will he have his Heisman moment? Can they get the win? Can he secure the SEC championship spot and their spot in the college football playoff?
Biggest game of the weekend. Hugh Freeze and Liberty are going to Arkansas with a monster slate across college football. No one's really paying attention to this, but Liberty is 7-1 on the season. They're playing very good football. Arkansas has a spot that's a little bit of a look ahead with LSU coming up, and Arkansas's defense, as we have seen, is poo. There are going to be some white knuckles in Fayetteville, Arkansas tomorrow from people wearing that Razorback red. Do not be surprised if Liberty goes and pulls the upset, but I love Liberty getting 2 touchdowns in that game.
Clemson and Notre Dame. We've long pointed to this as Clemson's last test. On the road, you'll see DJ Uiagalelei at quarterback for them again, at least to start. Klubnik will be lurking. This is a tough one for me. I think the line is stinky, man. You'd expect Clemson. They should be far and away the better team. Only a 3.5-point favorite on the road at Notre Dame Stadium. Something I'm very, very interested to keep an eye on.
To the NFL, I will be watching Vikings Commanders. Kirk Cousins will be back in Washington. He did play them in 2019 where the Vikings won. Kirk Cousins didn't have that great of a day, but the Vikings are 6-1. They're leading the NFC North. I think they're the best team that no one's really talking about.
They're running away with the NFC. Yeah. It's a terrible division.
Yeah. That was it.
Okay. Along those same veins, Rams-Bucks is huge this weekend. The Bucks can still win the division, obviously, but now they've fallen behind Atlanta, as has everybody. It's a terrible division, but they got to get some footing. And the Rams are sitting there at 3-4 right now. When you look at the NFC East, brother, like the Rams at 3-4, they ain't going to the playoffs if they don't find a way to win that division. Like they are not getting a wild card bid. So the defending Super Bowl champions are in great peril of missing the playoffs. This is one the Rams absolutely have got to get against Tampa on Sunday.
Watching the top of the AFC East this Sunday as well, that being the Bills and the Dolphins. Both of them have games where they should win it, right? The Dolphins against the Bears, the Bills against the Jets. Do either of them stub their toe? And keep an eye on Miami. Yeah, they're 5-3 and Buffalo 6-1. Miami's already got a win over Buffalo. They're still in a pretty good spot in that division. Adding Bradley Chubb, keep an eye on them Dolphins.
I'll be watching the NFL, the faces in new places.
Okay.
We obviously know the trade deadline came and gone. The Saints will see Roquan Smith in Baltimore on Monday night. Some other notable ones were Bradley Chubb in Miami, Chase Claypool in Chicago, T.J. Hawkinson in Minnesota, and then Naheem Hines in Buffalo.
And what's the old adage? When you see an unranked team favored over a ranked team, you blind bet the unranked team. Tonight, Washington, it's up to 4.5 over Oregon State. Blind bet the Huskies. You got 2 tomorrow. Kansas. Will they get it done, guys? Will they get it done? Kansas
that one tests the
is a
adage a little bit.
1-point favorite over Oklahoma State, who got absolutely annihilated last week by Kansas State. Can Kansas, is this the week? Is this the week?
I want it for him so bad,
we
man.
all want it for him. Is this the week? Blind bet him. No, I'm not blind bet. I don't trust Kansas. I don't trust Kansas at all. Yeah, but Syracuse and Pitt, unranked Pitt, a 4-point home favorite over Syracuse. Pound the Panthers. Unranked teams, favored over ranked teams. Hammer it. Make you some money. All right, it's after further review. Speaking of predictions, Phil Steele, next, AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siegen Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham. Mid-City on Donmore and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. The weekend is here. Fall is here. It is time, y'all. Go get those fall flowers. Just plant something. Get in the garden. If you don't know what to get, it don't matter. Take a picture of your flower beds. Take a picture of the front or the back of your house. Go into Clegg's. Find someone with a blue Clegg shirt. Ask them their opinion. They'll give you great advice. If it's the fall flowers, if it's trees and shrubs, November is the time to plant trees and shrubs. You want privacy shrubs? Plant them now. You want a fruit tree? Plant it now. This is the time, and Clegg's has all the selection you need. They've got everything you'd find at a True Value hardware store as well. And deer hunters, Clegg's has buckbusters, mobucks, deer corn, rice bran. They got it all for you deer hunters this season. It's Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you to Clegg's Nursery.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
We do it every Friday. We preview the biggest games of the college football weekend with Phil Steele. Of course, philsteele.com. Take that Phil Steele Plus tour. Phil, as always, we appreciate it. How are you?
You know, I'm doing great, Matt, and you got to be pretty excited there for this weekend's game.
Man, the energy's palpable. And honestly, whenever LSU and Bama means something, it's just way more fun, and this is one of those weeks. So, yeah, everyone here is on tilt. It's going to be a good day. But we will get to LSU-Bama last. A really good slate as we flip the calendar to November, Phil. I want to start with tonight. I was told an old adage, I'm curious if you subscribe to it, that if you ever see an unranked team favored over a ranked team, blind bet the unranked team. Well, tonight, we got like 4 of those this weekend. Washington, unranked, favored by 4 at home over ranked Oregon State. What do you think, Phil? Are you favoring the Huskies tonight?
Yeah, I definitely like Washington in this one. And, you know, I'll tell you, with Oregon State, they used to be a team that was a great team against the spread on the road, but they've turned into a dynamic team at home. In fact, Oregon State is 10-1 straight up at home, 11-0 against the spread. However, when they take to the road, it's a different story, and they're no longer a great road dog. They went into Utah this year and got beat by 26. They were fortunate to beat Stanford on the road this year. Stanford actually led that game by double digits with a couple minutes to go in the game, and they pulled out the win. Meanwhile, Washington, Husky Stadium, will be loud. Now, they're a team that plays much better at home than they do on the road. Their losses this year at UCLA, at Arizona State, but at home they've been dominant. They beat Michigan State far more than the final score would indicate. They had led that thing 39-14, and they beat Stanford very solid, 40-22. So I think you got a great home team versus a poor road team. I think Washington is the better team overall. I like the Huskies minus the points in that one.
Right. Phil, let's move into the Saturday morning window. A lot of people here are watching Tulane, and they have the inside track filled to be the group of 5 representative in the New Year's Six, provided they don't stub their toe. Tricky spot. They got to go on the road here to Tulsa. Tulane's about a touchdown, 7.5-point favorite I'm looking at right now. What do you think? Can the Wave keep it rolling?
Well, they're favored to do so, but in the game, I actually like Tulsa plus the points. When you look at Montgomery, he has been a tremendous coach as a large dog. Anytime he's getting over 7 points, he's on a current run of 12-1 against the spread. A lot of years, you go back to last year. They went into Cincinnati, a huge underdog in that one, and pulled out they only lost by 8. They were a huge underdog at Ohio State, covered. They were a huge underdog against Oklahoma State, which nearly made the playoff last year, and covered that one, only losing by 5. So this is a Tulsa team that plays great as a large dog. They had an off game last week against SMU, but they were only a 1-point dog in that game. Now they're back in their comfortable role of being the 7+ dog, and that's when Montgomery does his best. And the surprising stat to me, going over my statistics, is that Tulane's actually minus 6 yards per game in conference play. That surprised me because we're watching the games, they seem dominant, but only minus 6 yards per game in conference play. So add it all up, I like Tulsa plus the points in that one to keep it closer than expected.
Phil, let's move into the SEC in that morning window with Florida against Texas A&M. Boy, a couple of teams that certainly not meeting expectations this year. Texas A&M is a 3-point home favorite. Did the Aggies finally stop the bleeding, or do the Gators move closer to bowl eligibility?
I would think, Texas A&M's a better team. They're at home. They should win the game. But, here's the thing. You got a Florida team that plays well as an away dog under Napier. And then this is a Texas A&M team that they had their reasons for their losses. I mean, going into Mississippi State without your starting quarterback, going into Alabama where they nearly won. South Carolina jumped out to a 17-0 lead on 1 first down and 19 yards of offense because of a kick return, interception return, and fumble return all going against the Aggies. But last week they got beat at home by Ole Miss, and we're really down by either 1 or 2 scores the entire second half. And now you got to start wondering a little bit about their whole attitude coming into the game. They're just 3-5. They had aspirations and were in the top 10 in the preseason. Florida, meanwhile, is in the first year under Napier. They showed a little bounce back against Georgia. They're 5-4 straight up this year, or 4-4 straight up. They need a couple wins to get to a bowl game. They're playing with more enthusiasm. So I think it's a coin flip game. Okay. I think Texas A&M is a better team and at home, but Florida's got the better attitude. I'm probably going to stay away from that one.
Okay. Phil, I mentioned the unranked favorite over a ranked. Another one of those is in the afternoon window with Kansas. Phil, Kansas has been sitting on 5 wins forever now. They're trying to get the bowl eligibility. Here they are at home, a slight 1-point favorite over ranked Oklahoma State. Phil, is this it? Is this the weekend where the Jayhawks get to bowl eligibility?
I am not calling for it. In fact, I think when you look at this matchup, the series is, of course, all Oklahoma State, as you would expect. Kansas has been a bad team for a long time, but Oklahoma State's not only won the last 7 games; they've won it by an average of 35 points per game. Last year, Oklahoma State had a 19-0 first down edge at the half against Kansas. 19-0. Kansas didn't even have a first down at the half. So there was a big gap to make up. Now, I think that Lance Leipold's a miracle worker, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
But this is also an Oklahoma State team that's off a loss. Gundy is 15-5-1 against the spread off a loss. Last time he lost a game was at TCU. They bounced back and beat Texas this year. You look at them last year, they lost to Iowa State, bounced back and beat Kansas 55-3, lost to Baylor, bounced back and beat Notre Dame. And Spencer Sanders got injured last week, or was banged up coming in, but went out of the game. So they went with Gunnar Gundy, and they also went with Garrett Rangel. Now, Gundy does have 4.6 speed, and Rangel's probably got 4.7 speed, and both those guys got work with the first-team offense this week. Last week they were working with the second-team offense. So if Sanders is not able to play, I think either Gundy or Rangel, who's a very highly touted quarterback, will step in and do a better job. I still think Oklahoma State has more talent. And I'm surprised they're the underdog here. I'll take the underdog in this one.
Okay. He's on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Go to PhilSteele.com. Make sure you click on the Phil Steele Plus Tour, and we'll tell you more about that coming up as well. You can get detailed breakdowns for every game in college football this weekend. Let's stay in that afternoon window, Phil, with Syracuse coming off the loss at home against Notre Dame. Now they're on the road at Pitt. Another one of those spots. Phil, you got unranked Pittsburgh favored by 4 over 20th ranked Syracuse. Do the Panthers get it done at home?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Matt. I
Okay.
definitely like Pitt. And, you look at Pitt's last 2 losses. The Louisville game was a 17-10 game, and Louisville's got a really good defense, and they've got a very electric quarterback in Cunningham. So it's 17-10. Louisville gets a fumble return for a touchdown, wins by 14. Last week, they're playing North Carolina, and they're leading 24-14 in the third quarter. I was texting with Coach Narduzzi this week, and he told me that once Clancy went out of the game, their star defensive lineman and pass rusher, that all of a sudden the game changed, and North Carolina came back and won at 42-24. He didn't go out with injury, went out with targeting in the second quarter, so he will be available here, and that's a big plus for Pitt. And this is a Syracuse team that I thought was fortunate to be in the game against Clemson. They were outgained 450 at 291. They got that 95-yard fumble return for a touchdown, only lost by 6. Notre Dame pounded them on the ground last week, just like Clemson pounded them on the ground. And Pitt's offense is based on pounding teams on the ground. So I think Pitt gets this one done on the ground. They've got an underrated defense. I like Pitt minus the points at home in that one.
Phil, let's ask about the biggest one in college football. Of course, here it's going to be LSU-Alabama, but the one everyone across the country is going to watch is number 1 Tennessee at number 3 Georgia. College game day is there. Man, Tennessee has been a machine offensively this year, Phil. The number at 8.5. This has obviously been a very, very, very public play with the Volunteers. I'm anxiously awaiting your thoughts on this game, Tennessee at Georgia.
Oh, they're playing this week? I'll have to do a little research on that.
I mean, Phil, this is every odds maker I've talked to said this is such a heavy public play on Tennessee, and it makes sense. I mean, they've sort of been a darling team this year, but what a spot for them to go on the road to the defending champs here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the number 1 offense against the number 1 defense. Sort of reminds me of, I think it was a 1972 Sports Illustrated cover that had irresistible force versus the immovable object, which was Nebraska-Oklahoma in that big Thanksgiving Day game that year. But when you look at this matchup, Tennessee's offense sort of looks like LSU's offense did a few years back. If you can go and put 52 points on Alabama, I think you score on anybody. And Georgia has got that top-ranked defense. They are outstanding there. They did lose their top tackler at linebacker. But I think the one underrated feature here is going to be Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett's getting no coverage. Everybody's talking about Hendon Hooker and Heisman. Bennett could very well have a good game against a Tennessee defense that's given up 453 yards passing to Florida, 455 to LSU, 316 to Alabama, and then 316 to UT Martin. So I think it's going to be a heck of a game. I had the number at 7, and I was going to say if it was under 7, I'm taking Georgia because I do think Georgia wins the game. And if it's over 7, I'm taking Tennessee. So, unfortunately, I'm on the side of the public with this one, taking Tennessee plus the big points. But I hate wagering on marquee games because the line's sharp. Everybody knows everything about the game. I like the underrated games out there as mine to wager on. So I'm not even going to wager on that one this weekend.
Phil, speaking of an underrated game, this is one that maybe won't pop to many, but here people are interested because LSU's got Arkansas next week. And Arkansas is a team that we know started the season in the top 10, and then they've scuffled. But here comes Liberty and Hugh Freeze at 7-1. Now, this is a big line. It's a 2-touchdown spread. I'm looking at 14.5 right now. Is Arkansas on upset alert?
I'll tell you, Liberty's playing great. And you go back to the BYU game 2 weeks ago. BYU came in there highly touted, and Liberty just spanked them. They were 41-14. Doesn't even really sum up the game. They had a 28-12 first down edge, 289-yard edge. Now, Liberty started the year with Jonathan Bennett at quarterback. He got injured in the opener, and then I thought Caden Salter did extremely well, but then he got injured. So they were down a couple quarterbacks, and they waffled around. They only beat Gardner-Webb by 1. But now Bennett's been back at the QB spot. They are dangerous. Hugh Freeze has proven he is an outstanding coach. And they've got Day Hunter, a guy that was a star at Hawaii last year, 825 yards, 6.5 yards per carry. They are a dangerous team. They're catching Arkansas in a serious sandwich spot. They're off that big win over Auburn LSU on deck. And what we've seen is Arkansas has struggled against weaker teams. You remember the Missouri State game? They were a huge favorite in that game. Missouri State led in the third quarter, barely escaped with the win. So I do like Liberty plus the points here. I don't know about the outright upset, but it is definitely possible because they're playing really good football right now.
All right, Phil, sit tight. We are going to come back. We'll preview the evening games, including LSU-Bama. It's after further review. We'll continue with Phil Steele next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana, online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Give them a shout. Or if you want to, as you head into the weekend, maybe you're driving home right now. It's 4:30. Maybe you're at home. Maybe you're starting to get things marinating for the weekend, for the tailgate, whatever it is. Pull out your phone. Pull out your phone. Go to lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. You'll see the quotes tab right there at the top. Fill out a little info, and when they're back in the office on Monday, they'll get rolling. It's free. You don't have to swipe a card. They're not going to charge you or bill you for anything. It's free. They are going to shop independently for free to see if they can find you better coverage for less money. If they can, great, switch. If not, stick with what you got. At least you know you're paying a fair price. It's Insurance Network of Louisiana. lainsurance.net. Online, lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we're previewing the biggest games of the college football weekend with Phil Steele. We will get to LSU, Alabama in just a moment. Of course, if you want to wager on any of these games, we always encourage you to use DraftKings, the official sports book of AFR, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, the NBA. Right now, new customers download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, make a $5 money line bet on an NBA game. If you hit, boom, $200 in free bets. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. At the DraftKings Sportsbook. Stepped up same-game parlays. Got to opt in. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. You can boost up to 100% for your stepped-up same-game parlays. Full college football slate, the NFL on Sunday, the World Series, Game 6 coming up tomorrow. You need a place to bet on all the action. Do it at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-770-STOP. All right, Phil Steele is with us on Twitter at PhilSteele042. Phil, let's jump back into it and go to the Big 12 night window. Texas is a slight road favorite over Kansas State, which comes off a mollywhopping of Oklahoma State last week. Phil, make sense of this for me. Texas favored over Kansas State.
Yeah, the number surprised me a little bit, and then I look at my Vegas rankings, and they said Texas was going to be favored in the game. Texas is a team that's got one of the top special teams units in the country. Their offense is averaging 62 yards per game, more than opponents normally allow. Their defense is holding opponents to 75 yards per game, less than what the opponent normally gains. They're plus 74 yards per game this year. They played Alabama, should have beaten Alabama had Quinn Ewers stayed healthy. Had they not had that missed field goal, they would have won that game. The Texas Tech game was just a tough overtime loss. In the Oklahoma State game, they blew a lead. I think Texas is the better team. You look at them with Bijan Robinson at running back, Quinn Ewers at the quarterback spot. Kansas State's been banged up at QB. Adrian Martinez didn't even start the last game. Will Howard did. Played extremely well against Oklahoma State. But that I think is just a game that you're going to look at the end of the year and you're going to say, how did Kansas State beat Oklahoma State 49-0? That was just one of those strange outcomes, I think. So I actually do think Texas is the better team, capable of going on the road and getting the win. Now, will they blow the lead in the fourth quarter like they've been doing for 2 years? That's a distinct possibility. K-State won't slow down.
Phil Steele's with us. Get to philsteele.com. Phil, what about Clemson Notre Dame? Clemson is trucking toward a potential playoff berth. This might be their last potential tripwire. Phil, I've been pretty adamant this week. Clemson's my favorite play of the week, especially considering how much Notre Dame has struggled at home this year. What are your thoughts on the Irish coming off the big win at Syracuse, coming home to take on fourth-ranked Clemson?
Well, unfortunately, we're on different sides of this game, Matt.
Okay.
I do like Notre Dame plus the points in this one. They've won 26 in a row against ACC teams during the regular season, including Clemson. My computer's actually got Notre Dame outgaining them 389 to 285, which I found surprising. They've played the tougher schedule, number 11 versus number 60. And my average game grades actually have Notre Dame, the better team, number 23 in the country at 108.3, and Clemson 107.3. So I think Notre Dame can run the football. They have the better defense, believe it or not. I know Clemson coming into the year was number one defense in my book coming into the year, but they haven't quite played like it yet. They're holding opponents to 66 yards per game below their season average. I think you got the nighttime crowd, the home edge. I like Notre Dame to pull the upset here. And you're right. If Clemson gets past this one, they will be a pretty good-sized favorite in their final three games.
Phil, I mean, that's really interesting. If Notre Dame upsets Clemson, that essentially knocks the ACC out of any potential playoff spot. That would be a major shakeup in these rankings as we head through November. A game that's not consequential for the college football playoff, but one that is of interest here is Auburn and Mississippi State. Auburn, of course, fires Brian Harsin, Cadillac Williams as the interim. I'm always curious, Phil, about an interim bump. State's a 12.5-point home favorite there in Starkville. How do you see it going on Saturday night?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at because, the Auburn players, they had to know what was going on. They had to know Brian Harsin's going to get fired. So, are you fully bought in when you know your coach is going to be fired? If it's not this week, it's going to be next week. The fans were probably sort of rooting for Auburn and maybe rooting for them to lose because they wanted Harsin out of there. And so you had a really tough situation. Remember, they led LSU 17-0. I thought that fumble return for a touchdown was huge. They actually had a 168-yard edge against LSU in that game.
Oh, yeah.
They played Georgia tough at the half. And they covered against Ole Miss and played a decent game once again against Arkansas. I think with the new head coach, the attitude, you no longer have the Harsin thing over your head. You've got a pretty good Auburn team, and they're getting a lot of points on the road. And if you look at Mississippi State's defense, or offense, I should say, they have been stopped this year. I mean, LSU shut them down cold in the second half. Kentucky shut them down cold the entire game. They had an interception return for a touchdown there, and they didn't score on Bama till the last play of the game. I think Auburn's defense is capable of that type of effort. So I like Auburn plus the points in this one, and I think we're going to see a better Auburn team these last 4 games.
Couple more for you, Phil. Want to jump back into the ACC, a couple of nighttime games there. One that is more notable because of the names, the other notable because of the rankings. Florida State, Miami, a couple of unranked teams, 5-3 Florida State, 4-4 Miami. It's the 6:30 ABC game, and nobody seems to care. Phil, do you have a strong lean one way or another on that game?
No. Can you imagine
I can't.
20 years ago that this game is as under-publicized as it is coming in when it was the biggest game in college football for so many years?
It's unbelievable.
But I think when you take a look at Miami, they have the talent to do it. I think they could pull the upset at home. But you know what? They haven't covered a game all year versus an FBS team. So until they do, I can't pull the trigger on Miami. But I think they're the better play. So I can't use that one.
Phil, what's interesting, we were having this conversation earlier this week. LSU-Alabama has become the series in college football that has the most NFL talent on the field every year. Just when you look at teams ago. That is Florida State-Miami in the 90s the last time we've seen something like that, where you have that much talent on the field? I can't think of another annual rivalry other than that one since that's come close to what we've seen with LSU-Alabama since Florida State-Miami.
Yeah, I mean, you might say some folks would try to throw out Texas-Oklahoma, but I wouldn't say so. I thought Florida State-Miami back then had far more talent. Same thing with Ohio State-Michigan. That's sort of been one-sided with NFL talent to Ohio State. So I would agree with you, Matt. I think we have to go back to Florida State-Miami and Florida days.
Phil, let's get a thought on Wake Forest, NC State. Of course, Wake with the disappointing loss last week. Wake is the road favorite by 4 in this one over NC State. A couple of 6-2 teams there in the ACC.
Well, you got to like the quarterback of Wake Forest, and you got to like the fact they were -7 in turnovers last week. That means there's a lot of value on them. I was going to use Wake as a dog in this game. Frankly, I'm a little surprised they're a 4-point favorite in the game. So now you've got an NC State team that got better quarterback play last week. Remember, they were down against Virginia Tech 21-3. They looked dead in the water. M.J. Morris came off the bench, led them to those 3 touchdowns. They pulled out the win. Maybe they start to throw the football around because they've got a pretty good defense, and they have the defensive edge. So you got the better defense, better home team. Wake's got the better offense, better quarterback. I like NC State plus the points in that one, and an upset wouldn't surprise me at all.
All right, he's on Twitter at PhilSteele042, PhilSteele.com. That's STEELE, PhilSteele.com. Phil, finally, let's talk about the big one in Baton Rouge, and I'll give you a big hat tip because it was weeks and weeks ago that you and I were talking offline, and you mentioned to me, hey, look, Bama has struggled on the road the past couple of years, and that has certainly played out so far this year, and one of the reasons why a lot of people here are feeling maybe a little bit of optimism. Bama, I believe, Phil, just 2-5 against the spread on the road in their last 7. So LSU, they're getting 13.5, but a lot of people here are thinking, man, you play well and you see another 17 penalty game like Alabama had against Tennessee. Maybe LSU could make this interesting down the stretch. How do you think it goes Saturday night in Death Valley?
Yeah, wasn't it something like 16 penalties against Texas as well on the road?
Man, that's a good number. I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, so they have, and it goes back like I had said in our conversation earlier this year. The Florida game last year, Florida, they needed to stop a 2-point conversion to win that. They lost at Texas A&M, and if you watch the Alabama-Auburn game, Auburn should have beat them. If Bigsby doesn't run out of bounds, Auburn does beat Alabama last year. And then this year, struggle with Texas. If yours doesn't get hurt, they lose that game. Then lose to Tennessee outright. So they have completely struggled on the road. And LSU, I got to tell you, go back to after the Tennessee game. They had trailed Florida State by 14, trailed Mississippi State by 13, trailed Auburn by 17, and blown out by Tennessee, although you and I both know that game was closer than the final score. But now, all of a sudden, you can't stop LSU's offense. 45 points against Florida. I was surprised they even punted in the game. When they did get the one stop and the one punt, it actually surprised me because Florida didn't come close to stopping them. And same thing with Ole Miss. Once you got past that slow start, that first quarter, boom, Ole Miss was dead in the water, and a 17-3 game. LSU just dominated 45-3 down, or 42-3 down the stretch. So it's an LSU offense that's impressed me. Defensively, they're holding opponents 81 yards per game, below their season average, which is number 18 in the country. They're doing extremely well. They're playing their best football, and they're catching an Alabama team that has struggled against lesser teams on the road. So you got to clearly like LSU, plus the double digits in this one, and the upset wouldn't surprise me at all.
Oh man, if LSU could find a way to knock off Alabama, Phil, that you want to talk about a seismic shift. Year one under Brian Kelly with all the turnover, they managed to knock off Alabama and give themselves a clear path to the SEC West. They would just have to split against A&M and Arkansas, and LSU would be in Atlanta year one under Brian Kelly. But big, heavy lifting to do on Saturday night in Death Valley. Phil Steele always doing the heavy lifting for us here on our Football Friday shows. And, of course, make sure you take that Phil Steele Plus tour. Phil, tell them about Phil Steele Plus.
Yeah, the Phil Steele Plus tour is up right now on philsteele.com. Just go to the daily blogs, and you can check it out there, and go to YouTube, the YouTube channel. 28, 19, and 2, 60% on the year. You get 6 free selections and 5 more quick hitters, and you get great explanation behind each of them. You find out how to use Phil Steele Plus, and you get the selections, but also complete reasoning behind them. And it's absolutely free. That's the best part. Just take the Phil Steele Plus tour right now at philsteele.com or the YouTube channel.
He is Phil Steele. Make sure you get to philsteele.com. That's STEELE, philsteele.com. Phil, you're the best. We always appreciate you making time for us on Friday. Enjoy the weekend.
Sounds great, Matt, and have fun in Death Valley this weekend, my friend.
It's going to be a heck of a time. That is Phil Steele. This is AFR. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. You know where to find them online at Michelli.com. 29 different offices across 11 different states. And, of course, our friends at Michelli, 75 years in business, 75 years Louisiana run, owned, and operated, 75 years, and you better believe they're Tiger fans as well. So our friends over at Michelli shouting Go Tigers from the tops of their lungs this weekend. If you're looking for a new career, Michelli can help. Michelli.com, hit the careers tab, and apply now online at Michelli.com. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, an ISO 17025 accredited laboratory, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. All right, y'all, it's after further review. Ross Dellinger in about 15 minutes from right now. He's got a great feature on Nick Saban from his time at LSU in Baton Rouge. That's up at SI.com. We'll wrap up hour number 2 with Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Another 5-star review for Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty. This one reads, efficient process and communication. Highly recommended. Super easy to work with. Entire team is great. This was our first experience with selling a home. I was pleasantly surprised how smoothly it went. I would definitely recommend Darren James to my family and friends. That's one of the things that stands out. You know, so many people, when it comes to the home selling experience, it's a stressful experience. Not with Darren James, because he gets results and he stays in communication the entire process. Darren's goal is to make this a stress-free, enjoyable opportunity as your family moves on to whatever phase of life it may be. If you need to sell your home, you need Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% with 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Delhi coming up in about 10 minutes. Ross is in town to cover the game for SI. Christian Locketshire, like a bottom of next hour. Ton to do. Glad you're here. Right now, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Thursday night football last night. The Philadelphia Eagles, 29-17 winners over the Houston Texans to move to 8-0. Derek Stingley Jr. in action last night for Houston. Slow night for Sting. 1 tackle on the night, and that was the extent of it for the rookie cornerback there out of LSU. World Series game number 5 last night. That went to the Houston Astros. 3-2. Great game, as a matter of fact. Alex Bregman out of the 4-hole for Houston. 1 for 2 with a double. Also drew a walk. The double, he just missed a home run. I mean, inches from clearing the wall into the first row of the stands. But solid 1 for 2 night. Breggs will be back in the lineup in the 4-hole for Game 6 on Saturday night. NBA action tonight. The Brooklyn Nets are at the Washington Wizards. You will not see Ben Simmons, though. Ben out for another game with inflammation in his knee. In fact, did not even travel with the team to Washington, D.C. Won't play in their next game either. It was announced he's out for the next 2, so you won't see Ben Simmons back on the floor until at least next week at the earliest for Brooklyn. And then finally, the Timberwolves, they host the Bucks tonight. Naz Reid expected to get some run for Minnesota in that game. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Gentlemen, holidays are approaching. If Christmas is the time you're going to pop the question, you know what to do. Go where Baton Rouge has gone to get engaged for more than 40 years. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, 9 locations on all. Find the location nearest you at lmfj.com. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Brian Kelly, Muse, can you play number 6 from Brian Kelly's radio show last night about Alabama's defensive front 7?
They like to operate out of 4 down, but they'll move into a 3 down front. I think it's depth. They bring in a lot of guys inside. They're big. They're physical. They want to flatten the front out, let the linebackers run. Turner and, Anderson are 2 outstanding defensive ends. And so really the problem becomes in most instances that have faced in the SEC is that there's 1 premier pass rusher. You've got 2 now. So we've been able to fan to one side and chip. Now you've got both those guys. And so I got 2 freshman tackles. So, we've got to be able to help both sides. And that's where Alabama's a little bit unique to our, game plan in the sense that both those guys, obviously, with 2 freshman tackles, you want to be able to, give them some help. So you'll see more tight end sets where we can, widen the rush line.
You heard Brian Kelly when he talked about the defensive front, talk about the ends. They're magnificent. He didn't talk about the interior. Alabama allows almost 100 rushing yards per game. There's an opportunity there for LSU. Ross Dellinger next.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. Hey, I really, really, really want to stress how important it is right now. If you've even ever thought about LASIK, y'all, get on the books right now for that free consultation. You want to do this before the end of the year. Maybe this is your Christmas present to yourself or Christmas present to a family member. Think about it now while you've still got a few weeks, but you want to get this done before the end of the year. So you got to schedule that free consultation with Dr. Blake now. So you go for the consultation so that way you can have it and get on the surgery schedule before the end of the end of the year, especially if you have HSA or FSA dollars to spend that expire at the end of the year. Y'all, LASIK is life-changing. If you want to be done with contacts and glasses forever, it's possible. I'm there. It's the best decision I could have made. Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Brooklyn Nets GM Sean Marks says the team has not considered cutting Kyrie Irving, who's been suspended for at least 5 games. Irving did send out an apology on Instagram, but Marks says Irving still has work to do.
There is going to be some remedial steps, some measures that have been put in place for him to obviously seek some counseling, designated by the team from dealing with some anti-hate and some Jewish leaders within our community.
Sean Marks, the Nets play the Wizards tonight in D.C. The new college basketball season tips off Monday. Kentucky coach John Calipari says he'd be stunned if preseason All-American Oscar Tshiebwe is available for the opener against Howard. Tshiebwe is coming back from a knee procedure in October. Bengals corner Mike Hilton is out for Sunday's game against the Panthers with a finger injury. The Chargers' top 2 wideouts, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, both out for Sunday against the Falcons. Allen with a sore hamstring and Williams with a high ankle sprain.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive offers a great price and round-the-clock protection when bundling home and auto. It's one of those rare times where you could save money and get something great. Bundle today at Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Final hour before we head into LSU-Bama weekend. Ross Dellinger joins us. Got a great feature up right now at SI.com on Nick Saban, his lasting legacy in Baton Rouge. Deli, how are you, man?
Good, Matt. How you doing?
I'm good. What's it like for you as a national writer now coming back to Baton Rouge to cover a big game at a place where you were once a beat writer?
Well, it's fun to see everybody. I'm on my way to see a couple people now, and it's nice to come in and just see faces. I lived here it wasn't just I worked here. Obviously, I lived here, and I'm around the community, and it's good to see old friends and stuff. So it's cool. It's fun, and I enjoy coming back here.
When you covered the team, how maybe you haven't even thought of this, but how aware were you of Nick Saban's legacy here? What I mean is like physical, like were you aware of a lot of the things that are here that were intrinsically connected to him?
Absolutely, yeah. And I'm probably a little different. I mean, I'm just from 2 hours down the road in Biloxi and was born in South Louisiana and knew the program pretty well. My dad, I know you know this, but probably a lot of people don't, but my dad was a high school football coach, and he coached Stephen Peterman. And so when Peterman was recruited by LSU and then signed here, we kind of followed him around. We went to a lot of games in 2000 and 2001. '02 and '03. We went to a lot of games with Peterman, with his family. So I kind of followed LSU for a while, and certainly, obviously, the coach at the time was Nick Saban. So I was well aware of that in his legacy here. And I always found, just as a kid, I found Nick Saban fascinating, obviously. And I think his legacy here is a really interesting one because it's kind of been a roller coaster, the way fans have felt about him here. And everybody feels a little different. But in general, how the fan base feels, you're excited when you hire him. And then I will never forget, Matt, LSU was 4-3, having just lost at home to Ole Miss in 2001. I remember being in the car, going back home. I was at that game, going back home, and the radio and the fans were calling in, and it was fire him now. He's terrible. He had lost to UAB year one. It was 4-3. And then, of course, everything was uphill pretty much from there. Yeah. And then he leaves, Matt, and there's obviously disappointment, but then disappointment turns into anger when he goes to Alabama. But time heals wounds. In the last few years, obviously the fan base here wants to beat Nick Saban, but there's a lot of people here who still love Nick Saban. He's got a lot of friends here. He's got a lot of close friends here. And he's still got it. There's a piece of him I know that is always and will forever be purple and gold.
Have you talked about that with him?
I've had 2 one-on-ones with him, and neither was really about LSU, so I have not. But I know he's talked about it before, and I will never forget. I think there was I think it was maybe like 08, 09 SEC Media Days. I remember him at the podium saying something like, he was asked again about, being at Alabama and having, been at LSU, and now you're at the big rival. And I can't recall the exact quote, but I remember feeling like, wow, because he said something like, well, the LSU job wasn't open. It wasn't open when I wanted to leave the NFL. And I thought that was interesting. I think there's a big part of him that probably wishes he had stayed here.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. He has acknowledged that. Now he always would have been curious about scratching the NFL itch,
right?
But there's no question that he fully intended, I think, to do what he's done at Alabama here, which is all of that preamble, Ross, to talk about the column that you wrote, or the feature that you wrote, and you took an interesting twist, and the headline is "You Can't Escape Nick Saban or His Infamous Straw Hat at LSU," and the crux is tracing Nick Saban's legacy here, but you've focused on the hat. Why?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I just came to Baton Rouge a couple of days early, thinking, that I would dig around and just talk to a bunch of people and just see what I could uncover that's kind of quirky or different involving Nick Saban. And I made some calls on Tuesday, and by the end of Tuesday, I realized that the story was going in the direction of what did Nick Saban leave behind here? Not the intangibles, but what literally did he leave behind? What his belongings? And I wanted to write about everything, and I couldn't. And there's some stuff I'm going to save for a story down the line. You can never have too many Nick Saban stories.
That's true.
As Alabama keeps winning, they keep playing in big games, and you need stories. So there's some things I'm going to save, but the story definitely drifted toward the straw hat. And it's funny because I was always curious how, why he wears this straw hat. Why? Because it's become such an iconic symbol of him, and I'll put it in there. But it's like Bear Bryant's fedora or Joe Paterno's glasses. You had Nick Saban's straw hat. Like it's in virtually every image of him from practice is him in the straw hat. So it was fascinating to uncover bits and pieces about the story behind it and why he started wearing it, which he started wearing it here while he was at LSU, to, of all things, hide his stitches from a fall that he had from the sun. So he needed a wide brim hat. It was really kind of cool to do, and it was kind of quirky, different story. But it was fun.
A lot of people here, I think, know the story of Nick falling at the lake and, nearly drowning. But I didn't know that's why he started wearing the hat, which was fascinating to read earlier today. Get to SI.com, by the way, read Ross's feature. It's really well done. What about aside from things like that? 2008 when Nick came back for the first time was so intense. In 2012, after the championship game debacle, of course, was massively intense. When you look at Saturday with LSU and Alabama, what are you expecting tomorrow night in Tiger Stadium?
Well, this team you got, and I think many will tell you this, it's not his best team. It's not his second best team, it's not his third best team, and I could keep going, right? It's out there undisciplined. They struggle on the offensive line. They don't have the receiving core that we're used to the last few years of Alabama. And on the back end, secondary-wise, they get burned. They've gotten burned this year. So, having said all that, they still have, arguably the best roster in college football. It's right up there with Georgia, probably. So they're still going to be hard to beat, but there's a sense here with LSU having won the last two games on a roll a little bit. Night game, Tiger Stadium. It's got the makings of certainly a good game. And as Nick's tenure, and I'm not saying it's anywhere over, but the guy just turned 71. We kind of keep saying it, but how long can he do it? And you have a new era at LSU with Brian Kelly. This is his first game with a team not named Notre Dame playing against Nick Saban, and Nick's kind of, would think at the tail end of the career. And Brian, is 10 years behind him and has just taken over to start a new era. And it feels big, it feels big. And the West is on the line too. So there's some juice to this one. And I think that there's an expectation level here that it's going to be a competitive game.
Yeah. Do you think it will be?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, me too.
I think it will be for all those things I mentioned. I've watched, this is going to be my third or fourth time I covered an Alabama game this year. I covered the Texas game. I've covered them at Tennessee. And they struggled, right? Texas should have beat them. They absolutely should have beat them. And Tennessee, they had them down, 17 points, I believe, at one point. This team has some holes. And it would be up to Brian Kelly and to try to figure out how to take advantage of those. And I think that they will to an extent. Nick's teams play the best in the fourth quarter. And those two games I just mentioned, Texas and Tennessee, they played better in the fourth quarter and won the game in the fourth quarter of those two games. So we'll see if that happens tomorrow night.
He's on Twitter at Ross Dellinger. Give him a follow. Make sure you go read the feature that he's got up right now. Nick Saban, his lasting legacy in Baton Rouge, a topic that is always interesting anywhere, but especially here. Ross, we appreciate you, man. Thanks. Enjoy the game tomorrow.
All right. See ya.
All right. We'll see you later. That's Ross Dellinger. It's AFR, brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138 for Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. You know where to find them. Of course, their headquarters are on Airline Highway in Prairieville. If you're going south on Airline, cross through the light at 42 and look to your right. You're only maybe a quarter of a mile down on the right. It's right there. It's the Relief Windows showroom, open Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. So right now, you can always hop online to reliefwindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding, and they always say experience, quality, and service. You will never, ever, ever spend $1 with Relief Windows until they are finished and you are thrilled with the work they've done. That's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. All right, it's after further review. Talked a lot of LSU-Bama today. Guy who played in a handful of those games, Christian Lockature, is going to be with us in about 15 minutes from right now. Not only did he Spent his career, unfortunately, losing to Bama as a player. He was on LSU staff in 2019 when they went to Tuscaloosa and broke through. So excited to have Lockett with us. Also talk about this game in the trenches because, as I was saying before the last break, I don't think anybody is going to deny Will Anderson, Dallas Turner. They're magnificent edge players, and they have a decided edge over LSU's freshmen. But the interior of that Alabama defensive line is not now what it was, and that is where they were for so many years, so dominant. And it is not that this year. And there are plays, I believe, to be had on the interior if LSU can make some headway there. We'll talk about all that with Christian Lockett again about 15 minutes from right now. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. brgeneral.org. That's the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network. By now, you know the Mayo Clinic Care Network, as I tell you all the time, that allows your physician here clinical collaboration to the experts at the Mayo Clinic at no extra cost to you. But, man, so many different ways that the Baton Rouge General is expanding healthcare, like the Robotics Institute, your choice for robotic surgery. Also with the Mako robot, all the different robotic arms that they have, which it's not a robot performing the surgery, but the robotics technology allows your physician, your surgeon, the most advanced technology in the world to make more precise incisions, better results, less downtime to recover, specialized attention. You can check out and learn more all at brgeneral.org. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Get online at brgeneral.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% with 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like. Again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
after further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I mean, big shout out, by the way, to Reed Ferguson and Blake Ferguson. Of course, the brothers Ferguson, long snappers in the NFL. Reed with Buffalo, Blake with Miami, so in the same division as well. But they're among the 32 team nominees for the NFL Salute to Service Award this year. That's presented by the league and USAA, and it recognizes NFL players. I'm reading from the release here. Recognizes NFL players, coaches, staff, and alumni for their commitment to honoring and supporting military and veteran community. So the Fergusons come from a strong military background. Their grandfathers, great uncle, great grandfather, all served. So really cool, man. That the Fergusons are honored respectively for a Reed for Buffalo, Miami for Blake. So those guys, I mean, look, they're a great family. If you get to know some of the players and their families throughout their times coming through here, and the Fergusons were awesome. They were awesome players while they were here, great families as well. And one of the really cool things, their parents still go to every game, even like traveling game days. Like they will go to as many for both of the guys as they can, even on some days, traveling on Sundays, like watching an early game and getting to Sunday Night Football. I think that happened this week or earlier this year when Buffalo was playing on Sunday Night Football. Anyway, great family. Congrats to Reed and Blake. A couple of awesome dudes. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Christian Lockature in about 10 minutes from right now. No Terrio if you're just jumping aboard with us. Terrio normally with us on Fridays. His daughter Georgia is on the homecoming court, so Terrio is walking his daughter tonight, which is awesome. So really, really pumped for Georgia and the whole Terrio family. So no Ryan, but we do have to do our pick'em segment. So Muse, if you would hit the music, and we'll get to our college football pick'em segment. We do it every Friday here. We pick 7 games, me, Terrio, and then a guest picker. You all, I'm sure, are well aware that throughout the course of this season, Terrio has, he's just been a little hit or miss on Fridays. Muse, I don't know what else to say.
No, you got to be honest. I mean, that's that.
He's just been a little bit of a no-show a lot this fall.
A little bit.
Please, by all means, go to homecoming.
Yeah,
go to the homecoming game.
It's a big thing.
Yes. But he's not here.
Year, but yeah,
he's not here. So but Terrio accuses me of cheating.
Yeah, he does. So often.
He accuses me of cheating. So what I'd like to do, Muse, is let you pick the 7 games
that
I'll select today instead of me doing it, so he doesn't accuse. Look, remember what happened last week?
Yeah, I do.
He's like, you're just picking my games. Like, because he picks first and then I pick. And basically, since I have a lead, if I pick what he picks, he can't gain on me. And so then the very next game, I'm like, all right, fine, I'll go first. And I picked it. He goes, well, that's what I was going to pick. I'm like, well, ain't my fault that we're just picking the same team.
Like you're psychic, or you're not psychic.
Come on, man. Like, what you want me to do? I don't know another way to say this. All right, so young Mussolini over there, if you would. Fire away, Muse. You get to pick the games today, and I'll go ahead and give you the winner. Of course, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Well, look, let's just kick it off. 11 a.m., morning slate in the Big Ten.
Oh, those Big Ten morning games.
You can be sleepy sometimes.
They can be unpredictable.
Ohio State, Matt, they're second in the first playoff rankings. They're visiting on the road, 11 a.m. at Northwestern.
Oh, yeah, Pat Fitzgerald, great coach.
Sneaky good.
I mean, that's a tough spot.
Especially if you play him in Ireland.
You better not look ahead. You know what I mean? Listen, I'm going to go on a limb, though. I'm going to say Ohio State gets it done.
Okay.
Say that they closer than the experts think.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll go with the Buckeyes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shift over to the West Coast a little bit here.
Okay.
The Oregon Ducks, many think they could be a sleeper maybe for the playoffs, one-loss Pac-12 team.
Yeah.
They're visiting Colorado, the Buffaloes. Ralphie.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
How many national championships does Oregon have?
None.
Yeah. How many does Colorado have?
More than none.
Yeah, they have at least one. I know that because they
shared. I know they
shared
one.
the 1990 national championship with Georgia Tech. With that Buffalo program, proud and true. I'm going to go with the Ducks, though. I'm going to go with the Ducks on the road in this game. I think they'll take care of business. It's a 2:30 game. We'll all be watching Tennessee, Georgia, but while we're doing that, I think the Ducks take care of business against Colorado.
30 minutes after that one gets underway, Matt.
Okay.
One of your favorite teams of all time.
Really?
Yeah, the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Cincinnati. You know I'm not picking Cincinnati.
You love them. They're facing Navy.
Ooh,
triple option.
golly.
It's tricky.
Especially in the middle of the season.
Yeah, man.
Trying to stop that triple option in the middle of the season is really tough because you don't see it any other time of year, right?
You don't.
And I'm going to tell you, didn't Cincinnati just lose?
They lost to UCF.
Yeah, they
last week,
didn't they? Boy, I tell you. You know, sometimes you lose that game, you're downtrodden. Now, here comes Navy. I tell you, boy, those midshipmen are really tantalizing. And I do love America. But I am going to – Cincinnati's at home. So I'll take Cincinnati because and only because they're at home.
All right, let's move to the night slate here.
Okay.
Another Big Ten matchup.
Yeah.
The State University of New Jersey.
Sunj.
Yes. Known to you layman's as Rutgers.
Mm-hmm.
They host Michigan. Undefeated Wolverines. Potential trap spot for Michigan here, Matt.
Hey, look, you don't just go into the birthplace of college football and expect to walk out with a win without a fight from the Scarlet Knights. And listen, what did Michigan do last week, Muse?
Oh, they beat Michigan State 29-7.
Rivalry game, right?
Yeah.
And what did they do before that? Week before that?
Yeah, they beat somebody. I can't remember who. Was it not in Penn State, was it?
That was Penn State.
Maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was Penn State.
Well, I tell you right now.
They're hot.
Let down spot. Big win over your rival. Now here comes little old Sunj. You got to go on the road to the birthplace of college football. Don't you be sleeping, Wolverines. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to take Michigan. I'm going to take them on the road. But, boy, I really don't feel great about it, Muse. Really don't feel great about it.
I'll tell you who maybe has slipped a little bit, Matt. It's University of Southern California.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they were all
Chumps.
the rage early.
Chumps.
No
good.
You got to go on the road to Cal this week. It's tough.
Well, no, that game is in L.A.
Is it?
Yeah, that game's at
They're
the
at
Coliseum.
home this week against Cal. They welcome in the Golden
Dynamite
Bears.
job, Monty.
This broadcast school is really paying off. The Fighting Marshawn Lynches, they're visiting Lincoln Riley squad.
I'll tell you, Justin Wilcox, as an underdog, is scary. Scary as an underdog. Lincoln Riley. You know, I'm going to take I'm on the verge. You know what? I'm going to flip a coin here.
Okay.
Tell you what. I'll drop my pen. If it lands up, I'm going to take USC. That's how close I think this is. Up USC, down Cal. It's up. I'm going to take USC only because of the pen. Only because of the pen.
Sticking in the Pac-12, Matt.
Oh.
Rice-Eccles Stadium.
Oh. Well, Utah, huh?
Heck of an atmosphere.
Yeah.
They're welcoming in Arizona for a night tilt.
They stink this year, Muse. Utah just stinks. People thought they were good. They lost to Florida. They got exposed. Utah is no good. Arizona, bear down, as they say.
Gronk.
That is so true. Gronk. Lute Olson.
What a name.
Lute Olson, yes. You know, I only because Arizona fired Kevin Sumlin, I'm going to pick against him.
Okay.
Yeah. That was a bad decision, firing Kevin Sumlin. So I'll pick Utah. That's what I'll do.
Last one here, Matt.
Yeah. Okay. One more?
Yeah, this is it. This is number 7. I know how much you like your late night college football.
Oh.
You love to watch the late night game, right?
I really do.
I know. You do.
I really do. I sit on my back patio after whiskey and wine. I pour another whiskey. I smoke a cigar, and I watch whatever West Coast wonderment is going on. If it's Hawaii, if it's some weird random, if it's Marshawn Lynch dropping he's dropping MFs. Marshawn Lynch. I was watching live on my back patio as Marshawn Lynch dropped the MF in the game against UW.
You know that's going to happen when you put it that's why you put the microphone in front of him.
He is perpetually high.
It's for him to do.
He's in a perpetual state of inebriation. You cannot expect him to check himself. Anyway.
Well, while you're sitting on your back patio tomorrow night, we have a doozy for you.
Do we?
Oh, yeah. You mentioned
excited.
Hawaii. Timmy Chang, he's bringing the group to the mainland. They're facing Fresno State, 9:30. Fox Sports 2.
Love.
You'll be locked in.
Not FS1, FS.
FS2. Where they put the big-time games.
Love Hawaii in this spot. Except that the Oddfather himself told me many years ago If Hawaii's coming to the mainland, go against Hawaii. If a team's going from the mainland to Hawaii, go for Hawaii. So because Hawaii's coming to the mainland, I got to go against Hawaii. That's an Otter special. So who are they playing?
Fresno State.
Doesn't even matter. It's a blind bet for me. So give me Fresno State straight up. Money line play on Fresno. That's all of them, Muse?
That's all of them.
No one can accuse me of cheating.
Nope.
Terrio is not here. I did not pick the games. Muse picked the games. Let's see how we do. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Remember, y'all, 1 week from yesterday, Christmas in November. 1 day only. Best specials of the entire year. 1 day only. You can RSVP online at theantiagingclinics.com. Theantiagingclinics.com. Christmas in November. 6 days away at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. All right, y'all, not a final break, quick break, and we'll come back and we'll chat with Christian Lakacher. Don't you move, AFR.
AFR.
All right. Ooh, the microphone. What to say about Rouse's? So tomorrow, Tigers in the Tide. Monday, Saints Ravens. Rouse's can help. It's not too late. Hey, look, you know what kind of stinks? A lot of rain's going to happen tomorrow. You know what might make it tough? Getting out early and cooking at your tailgate. Don't worry about it. Let Rouse's handle it. Go to rouses.com. You can tap the Our Food tab, and you can see all the catering options that they have over at Rouse's. If you want ribs or chicken or pulled pork, finger sandwiches, the little mini muffaletta trays, charcuterie, they got you over at Rouse's. So just call, order, what time you want to pick it up, pull on in there, go snag it, and get to your tailgate and let Rouse's cook it for you. Rouses.com. Rouses.com, or download the Rouse's app. Rouse's can handle your entire holiday dinner as well, so you can start thinking about that. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit.
We get it done with passion for our fans
and love for our community.
We are the Tigers.
Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, rolling through a Football Friday edition of AFR, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Of course, T-Bob and I will be at Don Juan for Whiskey and Wine as soon as the clock hits 0 on LSU, Alabama. We'll look for you there. If you can't be with us, watch us on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody watching right now on YouTube. We appreciate you. Please smash that like button. A guy who hung out with us last time we were at Don Juan, former LSU defensive tackle Christian Lockature, and, of course, a member of Ed Ogeron staff during the national championship season in 2019. Joins us now. Lack, how are you, bro?
Matt, what's going on, my man?
Pretty fired up, man. Honestly, I'm kind of in my feels right now about tomorrow as we get closer. Dude, you're a dude who put your hand in the dirt 4 times against Alabama and played this team. Let me just ask you an open-ended question. What's it like, man? What is it like to be on the field, hand in the dirt against that team?
Man, it's first off, it's always competitive. It's always a big game, whether it's home or away. There's always a lot at stake, and you always know you're going against some really good competition. So, for me, it's always exciting, but you have to prepare. And I know these guys are doing that, and, it's going to be a really exciting game. Top 10 matchup in Tiger Stadium. We can't wait.
Does it – look, man, LSU's won one game in the last decade against this team. It was the 2019 game. You never beat them.
Yep.
And you had chances, man. I mean,
right.
2014, that game was wrapped up.
Yeah.
Do you, I don't want to say does it haunt you, but, do you have, is there lingering regret that you never beat that team?
Man, it definitely doesn't feel good. It leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But we battled hard, man. Kind of what you said, 2014 game, man. It's always down to the last second, dude. You can never, guarantee yourself until that clock hits 0. And unfortunately, we didn't get to win that game. But we were in prime position to get it done. And you got to capitalize on opportunities, and you can't make mistakes. And a team like Alabama will exploit that and kind of gobble up all those opportunities that you miss and take them and run with them. So you can't do that in these games, especially with all that's at stake, especially a game like tomorrow. So I don't think I have regret, Matt. It's just more of it's a bad taste in your mouth. As a player, for me, I didn't win when I was coaching. We did, but as a player, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
I want to talk about coaching in this game in a minute, but as a player during the week, it feels different for fans. It's Alabama week. Look, restaurants are
in the
full.
air, Matt.
Yeah,
it's in
dude,
the air.
Christian, I opened the show talking about it, man. I drove through campus today. I'm reading a lot of the features, and man, I'm up in my feels. You have the stage set for what could be an awesome thing, man. What about as a player? Does it feel different this week?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It's Alabama week. You kind of get in the media, and it's always it's just another game. We got to focus one game at a time. But as a player, it's Alabama week. Like I said earlier, what's at stake. This game is always big. Especially for LSU tomorrow. You win. You're in prime position to win the West. And usually 90% of the time, that's how it is when it comes to LSU Alabama. Whoever wins that game is going to go to the championship game. So this is a big game, and it's not just one. It's not another game. There's a lot at stake. So to your point, Matt, yes, I think when it hits Sunday, really, and you're preparing, you're watching film, it's Alabama week.
Christian Lockature is with us, former number 18, national championship winning coach at LSU in 2019. So you mentioned that, going to Tuscaloosa, win that game in 2019, and obviously you were coaching the defensive line for that game. Look at the line of scrimmage in this game. I'm curious your thoughts. I don't know how much you know about Bama, but what you know about LSU's defensive and offensive front, how do you look at that matchup this week?
I think, I'm going to be honest with you. I think LSU's favored. I think, losing Mason hurt a lot, but they still have a lot of depth, man. They've been building depth as a season. I mean, look at Kai Wingo, man. He's been one of the top defensive linemen. Still got J. Roy. You got guys behind him, Jacobian. I mean, you got a three-headed rotation right there. And then on the outside, you still have Ali. You still have DJ. You have Savion. I mean, you have some good depth there. I've been watching Bama when I do get a chance to watch. I mean, they're always going to be talented, man. We know that. They're always going to recruit really well, especially on the offensive line. But, man, it does look like there's been some miscommunications from them. It's going to be, especially when you look at games like Texas, look at games like when they're on the road where, the sound really plays a factor into it. I think Tiger Stadium will really kind of give that same type of atmosphere, and it's going to create kind of problems for them on the O-line with communication. So hopefully that happens, but I think the Tigers are in really good position, especially with the defensive line going against them.
What about when you flip it? Like, Alabama's defensive line, I mentioned this a bunch this week, Christian. Like, when I think of Alabama's defensive fronts over the year under Nick, I always think about guys like Jonathan Allen and, Jerron Reed and Ashawn Robinson. Like, I don't see that guy this year with Bama. Their defensive ends are awesome, but if you're LSU on the offensive line, like, how do you take care of that defensive front when maybe you got room to run in the middle, but the edges are where you're really vulnerable with two freshman tackles?
Yeah, you got guys like Will Anderson and Dallas Turner on the outside. Those are probably not just one of the two best rushers in the country, not just the SEC. So, and then you're going against two freshman linemen. But look how they've held up so far, man. They've done really well. To be a true freshman in the SEC playing tackle, not just your left tackle, but your right tackle too, and how well they've done, man. It's only going to get experience under the belt, man. And I think going against guys like that, it's going to be a battle. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But, kind of to your point, you really have to almost chip with the running back, chip those guys and help it, really focus on the outside. I'm not saying inside they don't have those guys. They always do, right? But having two dominant guys like that on the outside, having that running back kind of chip on the way out will definitely kind of help those guys out as the game goes on.
What you going to be sipping on tomorrow?
Dude, you know me, man. You saw it on, what was Don Juan, baby? That Cutwater, man. I'm telling you, that Mai Tai, man, 12.5%, dude. Ready to drink cocktails. You don't have to do anything. It's ready for you, man. That's going to be the move for me tomorrow, my man.
Christian is working with our friends over at Mockler now, so Cutwater is what you brought. You also had Neutral as well.
Yeah.
So, you were the RTDs are huge now, man. The ready-to-drink cocktails. That was it. It was the lime margarita, right? The Cutwater lime margarita, right?
Yeah, man. We got lime margarita, which is also 12.5% alcohol, man. The one I was sipping on was the Mai Tai.
That's right.
Tiki rum. Yeah, man. That's also 12.5%. We have a vodka mule with Cutwater that's a little bit less alcohol content, 7%. So, we have some varieties of that. Neutral. Neutral is it's a seltzer. It's a vodka base, and it's real vodka, real juice. And it's something where we have fruit varieties. We have lemonade. We have cranberry. We have different kinds of flavors, man, and it's really done well for us, man. And it's all natural. It's a really great drink. Both the Cutwater and Neutral, man, of like you said, the RTD brands, man, have really taken off, and those two brands for us are, stellar brands for us.
Astros in 6.
Dude, man, I never thought I'd hear you say that, dude.
I'm asking.
I don't see it. I don't.
Okay, you think it's on 7?
I think Philly's winning 7. I do.
Phillies in 7.
Phillies in 7. I do. Me personally, I can't stand the Astros, so I'm just kind of regretting that picture in my head, dude. But I just think Bryce Harper and the way they're playing, dude, he's just tough to beat, man. And that's just a lineup when it gets hot, dude. It just from top to bottom is just stellar. So
that's also a lineup that got no hit.
Yeah, but man, how many times have dude? You can't say that. How many times have the Yankees? It's just they had a bad night, man. I think, dude, you know how it is. You play 162 games, and then you go all the way to Game 5 of the World Series. Man, that's a long year.
I know. I'll be fascinated to see these pitching matchups too, man.
Who's pitching tomorrow? What is that tonight?
No. So today's the travel day, so they're off today.
Okay.
They play game 6 tomorrow. Muse, do you know if they've announced the starting rotation or the starting pitcher tomorrow?
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. We got Zach Wheeler.
It's Wheeler against Valdez. Yeah. I'm looking at right here.
Wheeler versus Valdez. Well, then
Wheeler,
I think how they have it, Nola goes 7. Then he'd go Game 7, correct? If I'm wrong.
And I guess they could bring back Verlander on short rest.
Yeah, if it's Game 7, it's all out, man. That would be a great matchup, Nola versus Verlander. I got favor the LSU, man. I'm going to go with Nola in that one.
Man, I'd love to see Nola on the bump in a Game 7 if it got to it. I don't know, man. I think Valdez, God, he was so good last time out, man.
And he's pitching tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they close. I think the Astros close out in 6, yeah.
I hope the Phillies, man, I hope they come through, man. I really do. I just can't stand to see it, Matt. I really can't stand to see it.
I'd be fine. I'm indifferent, as far as a rooting interest, but I would love to see it for Bregman or Nola, whichever guy were able to win a championship. It'd be great to see one of those LSU guys win it. Hey, man, as far as the LSU game tomorrow, what do you think it's going to take for LSU to win, aside from obviously like scoring more points and like winning the turnover battle and stuff like that? What's something in the game you think LSU's got to do?
Oh, man, I think we talked about it today. It all starts in the trenches, right? You got to establish a good run game to kind of create that play action, kind of get those guys kind of, for me, especially being a T lineman, play action pass is the killer for a pass rush, right? When you have established a run game and you've been able to, kind of get a good run game going, and then you run a play action, they don't know if it's run or pass or stuck at the line. You kind of get them caught up. You got to establish a good run game, man. I think on the defensive side of the ball, obviously, stopping the run, getting in the backfield, okay, getting off blocks, making plays. I just think as a D lineman, man, that's going to be crucial. You got to win the line of scrimmage. Obviously, the turnover battle is going to be crucial, like you said. And then for offense, man, starting fast. And like you've seen these last couple of games, they really have, especially the Florida game. So it's going to be really interesting to see, dude. I'm really excited. I think LSU pulls it out.
Okay.
They're rolling. I think I must say 21-20 LSU. So that's my score. I really think it, man. I really do. They're hot right now. Defense is playing well. Offense is rolling. I feel like they've kind of got their identity, and I'm really excited, man. It's going to be a good game.
Man, from your lips to God's ears, let's make it happen tomorrow. Christian Lockett, you're the best, man. We appreciate a couple minutes.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it, man.
Have a great weekend. All right, it's After Further Review. Of course, brought to you by Don Juan Cigar Bar. We appreciate our friends over at Don Juan for hosting us every Saturday for whiskey and wine. And Don Juan, I mentioned before, is going to be part of Louisiana Bourbon Festival next Saturday. 7 to 10 p.m. at the Renaissance is the open tasting. 35 different distilleries will be having tastings at the Louisiana Bourbon Fest. You can get your tickets at louisianabourbonfest.com. And Don Juan will be there with cigars as well. So if you want to participate, whiskey and a cigar at the Bourbon Fest, you do it next Saturday. Thank God, 11 a.m. kickoff on it for LSU Arkansas. Worked out well for that. Okay, it's After Further Review. I'll give you my pick for LSU-Bama next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Pluckers Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. Y'all, great shot, man. Friday night lights. A lot of people getting out to a high school game tonight. It's 5:47. If you're looking for a place to grab a quick bite before you get to that high school game, either Pluckers location is great, Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Or if you want to eat after that high school game tonight, you can get by Pluckers. Remember, they're open past midnight every night of the week. So watch that high school football game and go eat great late at Pluckers, Nicholson, or Bluebonnet. Hey, look, tomorrow, LSU-Bama. If you need to dodge some raindrops tomorrow, you can always jump into Pluckers on Nicholson. It's walking distance to Tiger Stadium, just south of LSU's campus. Remember, they do have Go Cups, so you can pop into Pluckers, get some food, grab you a beer, drink, cocktail, whatever it is to go. If you want to walk, you do that on game days at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery, wings, beer, sports, Pluckers. You don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
The preparation has been really good. I think, what I saw maybe, a little bit at the end of practice yesterday was, Coach, we need to get playing here. This is a lot, and I think they're anxious, they're excited. And I don't mean anxious in terms of nervous. I think they're excited about playing Alabama. I think there's a lot of respect for them. They know they're a really good football team. Look, they know that this has been a one-sided series. I think they've won one game in the last 10 years against them. So that's the fact. But they're excited about this opportunity to play a program that has been consistently the best or measured as the best in the country.
Down the stretch, we come final segment here on a Football Friday edition of AFR presented by Don Juan Cigar Bar. Brian Kelly saying it as flatly as you can. LSU has been dominated in this series over the last decade. The lone win, of course, in 2019, the Joe Burrow year. There is one undeniable truth when it comes to beating Alabama. You have to play your best, and they have to not play their best. Because when Alabama plays their best, they are going to beat you. But when you look at Alabama's losses, there is a consistent theme among them. The 17 penalties against Tennessee. But even with that, the Bama turnovers, the 17 penalties, it took 52 points and Neyland Stadium being a freaking madhouse for them to eke past Bama on a knuckleball field goal, which barely made it over the goalpost. When you think about that Texas A&M game a year ago, when the Aggies beat the Tide 41-38, it was a walk-off field goal. And Zach Calzada had a hell of a day. 21 of 31 for 285 and 3 touchdowns. And they got some help on a day where Bama was a little careless with the football. They turned it over twice in that game. Alabama outgained A&M by more than 100 yards, and about 140 yards in that game. But A&M won it. Of course, we know about the 2019 game with LSU and Joe Burrow. You can go through the years. When Alabama loses, there's a consistent theme there. It's Alabama being careless and a team playing its best ball. And that's what LSU is going to have to do if they're going to win the game. And I've said it all week, and I'll say it again. Bama has struggled on the road. That is not That is not something that is subjective. That is an objective fact, and that is a recurring trend. They are 2-5 against the spread on the road in their last 7. This is a Bama team that has not played great on the road, period. That's a huge advantage to LSU because Tiger Stadium is going to be something that Alabama has to overcome on Saturday night. Alabama's interior defensive line, they are allowing 94 rush yards per game. Alabama is. That is not typical of a Nick Saban defense. You can run on them. Alabama's secondary, Eli Ricks being healthy does tilt the field. Nobody's talking about that, talking about the yards they've given up. They allow 200 pass yards a game. But Eli Ricks coming back helps. But LSU has an advantage because they have more receivers than Bama has competent cornerbacks. When you flip the field, yeah, you got to handle Bryce Young, and he is magnificent. But those receivers are not what they have been in the past. But then again, neither is LSU's secondary. Neither team wants this to come down to a kick because neither team feels really great about their kicker right now. So in some respects, special teams in this game is going to be a push because neither feels great about it. This is going to be a close game, y'all. I do not see either team running away with this game. And for the first time in a long time, you feel like you have a head coach and a coaching staff that can go toe-to-toe with Nick Saban as far as game plan, preparation, etc. I would love to pick LSU. I don't think they're there yet. I think Alabama's roster is still better, but I certainly think it's going to be possible. Got Alabama 34-24. I think it's a late touchdown that gives Alabama that margin, but this is going to be a one-score game in the fourth quarter, and the Tigers are going to have a chance to win it. Hopefully they can get it done. Views, Paulie, thanks so much. Enjoy the weekend, man. Jealous of everybody's going to be in that stadium tomorrow night. Make it rock. We'll see you Monday at 3 for AFR.
AFR.
As we put a button on our Football Friday edition of AFR, remind you about Mold Zero USA. Mold-0USA.com. Mold-0USA.com. If you're dealing with mold or odors, call my guy Jim Woodworth over at Mold Zero. He's a veteran. He has spent his professional life essentially helping people overcome disasters. He was there in New York City post 9/11, helping people recover then. He found his way down here after the BP oil spill to help the area recover. And now with Mold Zero, if you have mold in your home, that can be hazardous. Of course it is. For your family, for your children. Take care of it. Call Mold Zero. Don't worry about cutting sheetrock and pulling things out of here. Just call Mold Zero. It's a patented dry fog, non-toxic technology. They'll spray this fog. You let it dwell. When the fog dissipates, you have a mold-free home. Mold-0USA.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime. Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Enter now for a chance to win a catch and cook fishing experience from the Louisiana Charter Boat Association with me, Chef Jay Ducote, winner of Beat Bobby Flay. Register now at GoCatch.com.